True. Oh, hello, people of the internet. Guess what? It's us. We're here. I don't know what any of that means. Kevin's yelling about a panel doing something. Welcome to your pre-show for this episode, whose number I don't remember, of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Hey, Kevin, can you put the chat up so we're not just talking to us?
I do.
Do you know what? Do you know the Enrique Iglesias song?
Would you dance if I asked you to dance?
Yes, exactly that one.
Would you tremble and never look back?
I feel like Would You Dance If I Asked You to Dance is just indirectly asking someone to dance.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like hypothetically.
Hypothetical.
How to do it when like they want, they need it.
Yeah. Hypothetically, if I came to you at some point asking if you want to dance, would you want to dance?
Wait, say that again.
If at some point I came to you saying, let's dance now. Like, be ready to dance is what I'm saying for the day.
It's just like, I'm giving you the warning.
Yeah.
At some point, I'm going to tell you that we're going to dance.
Always be in a pre-dance position.
Gosh, it's so weird. Also, how many scenarios are people in where dancing... I guess it's always a possibility, but...
That's super cool control.
Oh,
Is it just a sticker on the touchpad, or?
No, this is it's printed. They sent it out with Zone of the Enders. The latest one with the VR and stuff.
Yeah, I should play that again.
Kids with the VR. What's up, pre-show? It's me, Greg.
I need to
Chance
get
Carter
a new
wants to know
sticker.
if you've watched Working Moms. Did you
I
already
don't
say
know
that?
what that is.
Really? Oh, you'd love it.
Which one is it?
It's a show Jen's obsessed with. It's I think.
Is this the one where like they all have kids in New York?
Yeah, Ivan Reitman's daughter is the one behind it.
Oh, got it. Yeah, my mom was watching it, and that's as far as I got.
Jen loves it.
Yeah.
There's like 3 seasons of it, but all the episodes
Jesus.
are like 20 episodes or
perfect.
20 seconds, 20 minutes.
I don't think I've watched anything besides Great British Baking Show for like the last
so
3
good.
months.
We've avoided that as long as we could, and then Jen just found it. And so now I
so
come home to
good.
it every night.
It's so wholesome. I feel like that and Queer Eye have just been like the rays of shining light.
Mm-hmm.
No, I've been watching Dairy Girls on Netflix.
Is that the prequel to Dairy Queen?
Oh my gosh, so funny.
It's actually not a bad joke.
Thank you, Imran. You know where your bread's buttered.
Let's see. If Footloose has taught me anything, dancing is always good. That is correct, Borzin.
Mr. Yasmin says, did you see Ruby Rose's Instagram stories? She's playing Spider-Man and was asking in multiple Insta stories Melissa Benoist to help in finishing a section. It's so annoying because you know Ruby Rose, Batwoman,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
She
That's
put
why I
up a
was
post
confused.
yesterday or 2 days ago with her posing in like her living room, and then Kitty Plays responded like, "I see that controller," and then Ruby started talking to her. I'm like, "Oh God, they know each other." And then I went to chime in, and it's one of those, "Oh, this is like a limited, only people who you follow could talk."
Dang it.
Damn it! This is my moment. I almost met Batwoman. Now I'm definitely jumping over there. Thank you very much, Mr.
Oh, got it.
It did not make sense to me until I realized playing Spider-Man meant playing the game Spider-Man.
1,000%. Because I was like, wait, isn't she playing Batwoman? I got very confused.
And I tried to search Spider-Man.
Just look up Spider-Man, it'll come.
Yeah. But
We stopped watching the Great British Baking Show after the judges made the clearly wrong decision. That's fair.
I know.
Sometimes they do screw that up.
I know. I was also a little bit hesitant about the newer seasons because they broke the band up.
Yeah.
Mary Berry, gone. Sue and I don't remember what the other woman's name is. The other two hosts.
Yeah.
And now it's Noel and that other woman. And
I think that you're further than me because I don't know. Like,
it's just they changed the hosting things.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
all it is. It's nothing.
And
super
what's
crazy.
truly annoying is that it has the little word bubble on it. So I click on our post to respond, and then you can't do. You're like trapped. There's nowhere to go.
I'm surprised there's not like a pay $5.99
I do.
to get in there and make a
What's
comment.
up, Ruby? See you like PlayStation. Come on,
I know.
Gamescast.
You would think that maybe your verification settings
think
would
so.
override that,
You know what I mean?
but maybe not.
Monsters. Joey, are you watching Batwoman?
No, I haven't started it yet. I want
You
to
going
because I
to?
really like her.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't know. I was trying to look for American Horror Story 1984, and apparently that's not streaming anywhere. Like not on Hulu or anything, which is annoying because I would like to watch it.
Yeah.
So once that happened, then I was just like, forget it. I'm going back to Netflix and haven't looked at anything else.
Hulu is basically my Good Place and Superstore delivery method.
That's a lie. I did catch up on The Good Place
Yeah.
earlier this week. And then I also caught up on 911, which is a not great
Not Rescue
procedural.
911?
No, which I also
Not
love.
Reno 911.
No, which I've never watched.
Oh,
no,
really?
It has like a lot of random people. Jennifer Love Hewitt has showed
Nice.
up now.
Big fan.
All of a sudden,
Does she
Ronda
still-
Rousey is in there as some like paramedic.
Not
That's
as
weird.
excited.
Hopefully she doesn't have a speaking role in any way.
Yeah, both.
What was the deal with that Mortal Kombat? You think they rushed her through it? She had like 5 minutes in between matches. They're like, I'm mad. I'll punch you. It's gone.
I
I
bet
gotta
they're
go.
like,
Bye.
they're like, Rhonda, can you redo that line? And she's
no,
like, or she did it exactly the same way. Like I don't get the feeling she's actually like the super best actor in the world, besides being all kind of a piece of shit too.
Yeah.
I can be a little baby.
Oh, that's why we're doing. Okay.
Yeah. I wanna see how it's going over here now. You know, I'm going to talk about my experience with remote play, which has been hit or miss.
Yeah.
As you can see, miss right now. The internet connection speed is currently too slow to start remote play. Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, it's all Kevin's fault.
Internet speeds at our office are too slow for remote play, Kevin. What is this life?
No, that sounds wrong.
You're telling me?
The internet here is immaculate. What are you talking about?
The internet here has never failed us, clearly.
Yeah, we figured it out. We sorted it out mostly.
Mostly.
Yeah,
Mike
mostly.
L wants to know if there's any embargoes this app.
No.
That's exciting.
Yeah. No.
Oh shit, the truth's coming out about everything.
Yeah. No bargoes. We're telling the real story of everything.
This is the real shit right here.
Yeah. What is Kevin doing?
Where'd you go for lunch?
Whatever that food court.
Mall
Yeah.
food court, Stonestown. Nice.
The
They got that
classic
pancake
mall.
place over there. We gotta go.
Yeah, I want to check that out. Like I know Gary said yesterday they serve pancakes
All the time now?
Yeah, I think it's only at certain they do it once an hour, but they only do a certain number of orders per hour.
Yeah, it's like 11, 1, 3. I think
Yeah.
it's on the odd
It's
ones.
it's too
right?
popular still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been
Really
waiting
cool
for a
then.
while, so I don't have to
me
like
too.
wait in line to get pancakes. But
I
Good.
went there when it opened like 3 Sundays in a row. We just happened to be at the mall, and like we kept like walking up to it and seeing like, oh, what's not? And it's like, no, no good.
But
yeah.
it did make the udon place line go down.
Yes.
So
now udon place is
Win-win.
adding new stuff. They're bringing back the curry udon, which is great.
the curry one's so good.
It was gone for a while because it was too expensive. They had curry udon, but not curry beef for a long time. So they brought back curry beef.
It's a dope shirt.
Thank you.
Big fan of it.
There's stuff in the back.
What?
There's stuff in the back.
Oh, fuck, it's
that
even
is
cooler.
cool.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, it has the little line.
I'm pretty. Is this for the new one-up arcade systems?
There might be one of those. Yeah, I think there is a.
Yeah, there is one
Yeah,
from
there's-
also.
okay.
I just was wondering, is this shirt like a promotional thing for that?
I don't know. I just bought it at Uniqlo. So I
Oh,
was
you
like,
bought it.
yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I only wear my logos when I pay for them.
Gotcha. Because those one-up arcades are so weird to me, where they're the coolest idea ever, but I don't know that I necessarily want them smaller.
Yeah, so they're smaller, but they're also still like too big for like an apartment.
It's like the weirdest thing where I'm like, I don't understand what niche they're filling.
Yeah.
Can you look these up?
Yeah,
Just the one-up arcade. You'll be
Camera
able to
wants
find
that.
it.
I like the little baby ones that we get sent to the office. Those are so cool.
Those are real, baby.
Yeah.
Kevin A. Sex says, hey, are you guys affected by the PG&E shut-off?
They're not gonna shut off San Francisco.
Yeah, no, we're not.
I'd like
but
to see him
a
fucking
lot of my
try.
friends are.
Gosh, can you imagine?
The
What would we
economy would
do?
tank.
We just go home.
Yeah. I honestly,
cry.
It was snow day. Yeah, totally.
when it was announced, I
then I'd be
I
like-
was so excited looking into it, being like, I just want to go home. I just want to take
Sure.
Wednesday
Sure.
off.
That's the best feeling, right? When it's not
Is
our
this
fault.
it, Tim?
No, it's not this. So, Arcade 1-Up.
Talk about games. Arcade 1-Up.
Yeah, click on the video.
The font every games
So I'm-
podcast uses.
I'm trying to get to...
Fucking
I want some
GameSpot.
scale.
You know what I mean?
I think we're gonna get that. Let me see. All right. So that didn't.
Yeah, go down. Yeah.
Oh.
It's so tiny. It's
It's
weird.
such a weird size.
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to get 2 of those, put them back to back, and have them like interoperate. Like that would
cool.
be neat.
Sure.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Look up, add the word Ninja Turtles words to this.
Had the
Had the
singular
one word Ninja Turtle.
Make sure it's one word.
Look who decided to show up. FM3_ himself.
San Francisco trains. I tried, everybody. I swear.
Blame
Sure
other
you
people
did.
for
And I was on that
things.
train almost 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still pretty big.
So that's the thing. It's still pretty big, but
It's a good size.
the Ninja Turtles
Brandon
one
Routh
is
playing it.
4 players.
Yeah, you're not crowding 4 people around
Like,
that.
think about that.
Also, I'm having like the biggest nostalgia trip looking at that side art.
Yeah, it's great. It's so damn
Like,
good.
just to remember being like in an Arkansas or like pizzeria or whatever. and
Click
seeing
into
it.
this article, Kev. Yeah, just like the idea of them is great. It's just a weird execution. Then there's these risers that you get. You can see at the bottom.
Sign up for the newsletter, Kevin.
Get in there. Get that newsletter
You
for
see
us,
that,
Kev.
Kev?
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
the
see
little
the
riser
right
thing.
here, down here.
What?
It's just kind of
Can't see it
weird.
too.
What is this all about?
It's like a little mini
There's this
arcade.
company called Arcade One Up that
Yeah.
are essentially doing the mini consoles, like the NES Classic and stuff, before arcade games, and they're making them smaller. But like they're not small enough to be like really small,
Right.
but like they're still big. It's
Right.
weird.
And
Yeah.
they're putting them on the riser anyway. It's like, I
Yeah.
guess they ship a little
But they're
easier.
like $200 or something, so they're not
Gotcha.
It's not
expensive.
that
Yeah.
expensive. Yeah, it's cool. I kind of
Do
want.
they have?
Yeah.
Do they have
Ninja Turtle one.
CRTs of them though?
They're LCDs, I want to say. Yeah.
There's your problem.
You're not gonna have anyone ship you a CRT.
Well,
for-
now we've figured out why they're
Yeah.
so small and stupid. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Haven't
look, it's
tried it.
way smaller than the photo.
Yeah, there it is.
New
It
Wave
looks way
toys,
bigger.
New Wave toys, like, dude, honestly, this is like the perfect size, and it's easy to just have around.
What's that the perfect size for, Kevin?
For having like on my desk. Tim, did you think about that? You idiot!
As
God
what?
damn it, Tim.
A
Fucking
paperweight?
God, it's just embarrassing to
Why
see you
would
not
he
think
co-
about that.
like, is this
would he
functional? Like, does
compare
this
it?
Yeah,
work
no,
at
it works.
all?
It
I hate
works.
it.
I
I'm
know.
saying, it works really well.
For what?
It's not
a paperweight.
Yeah, for a paperweight that's also an arcade. Okay?
Yeah, those awesome
You
like.
idiot.
Oh, look at the rollerball
Sorry,
action,
Kevin
everybody.
can't afford a
Kevin
1080p
really got me.
1276 Radeon card, all right?
I'm gonna get the power cord
Radiant
because I want you to
cards are
experience
back,
this.
man.
Okay.
What do you think's going to be in your
smash it. Let's
PlayStation
smash
5, Greg?
Fucking-
just a PC graphics card from this year.
If there's a
and
God
PC
on heaven, a
CPU
little
from
anime
this year.
shoe, a little anime shoe in there.
I want someone to make like a fake one of these that says Patapon 2 on it.
Oh my God,
And just
don't get
give
me
it to you. And just like it loads up Asteroid and like, God damn it.
What do you
Like-
think happened to Patapon 2?
It's dead
Man, I
now.
tell you what. This is the thing I'd like to know because I've been on the cusp of the story before off the record with like back room
Oh,
sources and
yeah,
stuff.
back avenue
but it's always,
channels.
I'll tell you about it later. We got to do this thing. And I'm like, ah, fuck, here we go. And then I never get it. What do I think happened? I think they understand that when they finished it, they're like, this is clearly the game of the decade. And so if we release this, we fucking take out God of War, we take out Spider-Man,
Yeah.
we take
Yeah,
out
they've
Ghost
given
of
Kojima
Tsushima.
so much money.
Exactly.
They can't waste
so
that.
We gotta we have to put this thing down
I get it.
underground like E.T., but for a different reason. Different reason, Fran.
I was just talking about how I'd been to Albuquerque before because I was
I
watching
know you
Breaking
went there.
Bad.
You went there with Naomi.
Yeah, and we uncovered garbage, and it
That's
was
when you
it
did
was,
you
really,
guys did the weird photo shoot out in the White Sands,
It
right?
was. Oh yeah, well,
not weird, but I mean, like
did
it was
that
just like
amazing.
so out of the normal.
No, speak your mind, Greg. This is the pre-show. Weird.
You
Why
looked
was it
really
weird?
good.
Just tell me why it was weird.
Well, it looks like it's like an Uncharted 3 campaign.
Tell me why it was weird.
I will tell you why it was weird. But I'll tell you, number one, we literally just stopped by on driving the rental car back to the airport for 25 minutes in a rush. The pictures came out better than I could ever have imagined.
They're amazing.
But yes, I was wearing like way too like nice clothes to be roaming around out there. But it really worked out.
It worked out.
My Nathan Drake
fantastically.
outfit. It's funny, Brennan has a nickname for him because I originally bought those for Eric Hart's wedding. And he calls him, I think, Fran's Dickie Kennedy III collection or something. And he's like, because I got like, it was like a deal, I think. So I bought 2 of each. So just different colors, like brown and white and blue and orange. Well, I didn't wear them like that. But anyway, so he's like, you have a whole closet full of just different versions of this Dickie Kennedy, don't you? And I was like, yeah, I do, actually.
I love it, man. You're my favorite.
But I didn't know Breaking Bad was in Albuquerque
Really?
area, I guess, because
Yeah.
they go to the Albuquerque airport at one point. I was like, oh, that's where it is in Arizona. I've been there. And it's funny because they talk about how Hank gets sent to El
Wait.
Paso, which that's the airport you fly into. It's only like 45 minutes away.
Are you saying Albuquerque, Arizona? Is there an Albuquerque, Arizona? Or are you talking about
I meant New
Albuquerque,
Mexico.
Okay.
Wow, I don't know why. I thought it was set in Arizona. Sorry, see where I went with this?
No, I was actually confused. I'm like, I was going to make fun of Albuquerque.
You never know.
I didn't know if it was the right Albuquerque to
There
make fun
could
of.
be.
Okay.
Anyway, they have a
Greg,
Buffalo
Fucking
Wild Wings
Frito
there.
pies. What is that?
Tony Tran says, is there any sort of meet and greet EGLX?
He says Sunday, actually, but you cut that out conveniently. Interesting.
Sunday.
The autograph signing is a meet and greet. Last year, the way it worked was me and Nick got in front of a step and repeat. You guys lined up. You came in one by one. We took photos and talked for a little bit. In terms of like a full-blown, let's go to a bar meet and greet, nothing planned. Last year, of course, the Doss brothers organized a very small one, which was awesome and amazing. Thank you so much. This one, we're doing Surgical Strike, where we're in Friday, out Sunday. So... there's the chance our panel's 7:30 on Saturday night. Okay. I wouldn't put it past us that afterwards like we're going to whatever bar, but of course we don't know where the fuck we are. So it might be more that we wander around. It might be that we pass out. Who knows?
Cool.
Come to the panels, see us there. Carry me and Nick around on your shoulders. Andy, kick to the ground.
Kick him hard.
Not hard, just kick him to the ground. You know, I want like the pushes where you're pushing him down. How you like it in Imran?
What about tripping?
Like a
Is
trip?
this the
Yeah, is it a
perfect?
push
He said
trip?
this was the perfect size for this centipede game.
Yeah,
Do
it's
you
a
agree?
I
perfect
can't see
port,
lasers?
everybody. It's
You
pixel
can't
perfect.
see lasers? Is
Like,
that like
good
something?
call,
Is that a
man.
medical
I
condition?
can't see.
The shooting, I can't actually see it. Like, I don't see the
Works
shots.
great, Kevin. He loves it.
It does
Otherwise,
work
this is
great.
neat.
It's not my fault that you guys are in a
I
studio.
can't
with-
hear you over the high fidelity speaker on the back of this thing.
Dude, the speaker
Is that Dolby Atmos?
Hey,
Got him! He
stop.
got!
But the speaker sounds great. It sounds just like the arcade cabinets. What? It doesn't?
I would play like
Yeah,
a-
if the arcade cabinet ran on a Hallmark card with one of those speakers, that's what it sounds like.
They're actually New Wave
Ran a
Toys.
Hallmark.
A best friend actually works there too, and he
At Hallmark? Holy crap.
We got them connects, dude.
You got a lot of
On
energy
your
today.
I like it. Energy.
He's sending the Street Fighter one, and that actually has like another, you know, like the little arcade pads.
Yeah.
It's got a second one that stores inside, and you can pull it out so you can play with two people.
Tiny one?
Yeah.
I like the idea. It's neat. It's
I-
kind of.
I think it's
like-
such a cool desk piece thing.
Yeah, it is cool for the
Yeah.
desk. I agree
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah. Then that's all I was saying. Francis.
I asked you before. I said for what a
Everybody stop
paperweight.
yelling. Everybody start dancing.
I have energy because I'm almost done feeling sick for like the third
here we
time in a
fucking
month.
go.
I'm not sick
Cry me a
anymore.
goddamn
But I
river.
finally flew. I think it's because I was watching Breaking Bad.
and that makes you sick, yeah.
Makes you sick
I have
to
a
your
theory on
stomach.
this.
Yeah.
It all started when I started playing Sekiro,
Oh.
which you get Dragon Rod in, and I got real life Dragon Rod. Like no joke, I literally almost died, and it ever since then. And now I started watching Breaking Bad, and here we are again.
Here we are again.
So it's sort of like it's coming through the
Yeah.
entertainment, entertainment into my reality. So if there's any sickness in a show, I'm gonna get it. So I should probably not watch any show with any sicknesses.
Yeah, that makes
Sickness
complete
eye?
sense.
So many jokes I was ready to jump to
Imran,
like this
come
drag it
on. I
all
was gonna
back.
say, like, the-
don't even bother. Don't even
Don't hate
bother.
on my
The
theory.
Sekiro Breaking Bad disease is well known. Medical journals have cataloged it.
It's Breaking Fran.
Yeah.
Making Fran,
Oh,
dude.
God.
Are you excited for El Ritmo Tropical or whatever the fuck it's
El
called?
Camino?
Yeah.
I am, but I didn't quite finish Better Call Saul, and then now that I'm,
You don't need to.
I know that's prequel, right?
Yeah, I don't
That's
know,
why I'm going-
actually. I'm just I like Annoying Barrett.
Great.
Because I like Breaking Bad a lot, but I just like Annoying Barrett with it. So.
Did you ever watch Better Call Saul?
I watched some of the first season.
Yeah,
then I fell
remember
out of
he's
it.
from Cicero
Oh,
of
right.
Rush Chicago. So he's a shy
Did
town
you
boy.
see even bigger news for you and me that Svengoolie
No.
is going into the DC universe? They're
No, he's
they're
not.
ending a bunch of Justice League books with
Are you
these things
serious?
of Svengoolie from fucking Joliet, Rich Coast.
Holy crap!
That is like a lot of people know Svengoolie now.
you're from the Chicago area.
Exactly. If you know, yeah, you definitely know from there. It's crazy.
Oh, people know him outside Chicago now.
I mean, like he's on that
Kinda.
whatever my 62 or whatever the hell channel. People see him
WGN.
every so. Yeah, I know,
Whatever,
right?
right? Awesome. Yeah, Rich.
You know
Coast.
Svengoolie?
No.
No, you don't know Svengoolie, you piece of
No idea
garbo.
what
Late
the fuck you're
night.
saying.
He was the first goth ever.
He was the first goth ever.
Maybe.
Wow.
Something like that.
It's cool. Ready to start the show, Kev? No.
Kevin was born ready to start the show.
He has to look up Svengoolie.
There he
That
is.
was out of
That's
my mind.
Svengoolie.
Oh, this dude?
Told you.
Dude, he's like old school goth. Look at him.
He looks like a
Yeah.
raccoon.
Well, I mean, that's makeup. That's not how.
Yeah, no, but I'm
He
like,
looks like a
is that the
cross
gimmick?
No, he looks like a
between
Yeah,
Paul
well, he looks like
Bearer
a skull. That's
and
the idea.
Undertaker.
Okay.
He wasn't a makeup artist, okay?
Yeah, this fall, Svengoolie meets the Justice League in the pages of DC Comics.
What happens if you, put DC after that, Kevin?
He looks like the animation
DC
transition
comic.
between like unmasking a villain
Yeah,
in
put Justice
Scooby-Doo
League after that.
and like when they're actually shown.
Sorry, I'm putting it together.
I'm pretty sure he did his own
What was
makeup.
his deal with chickens?
He always has rubber chickens and
they
jokes
would
about
like
rubber
throw
chickens.
him from off screen. They'd like hit him in the face. Remember, it was 4x3, so
Yeah,
literally
yeah,
I
yeah.
could have been standing.
Yes.
And
About
throw-
to beat me down with that.
DC
Oh my
No, no.
God!
Okay.
That's it, yeah. DC and Me
This
TV
is
are bringing fans one of the quirkiest pop culture mashups of all time when Svengoolie meets the DC Universe. A series of custom inserts featured in DC comic books goes on sale throughout the month of October. Each 2-page chapter will be written by DC Comics co-publisher and Svengoolie's super fan. That's how it happened.
Just was
Dan
gonna
Dido.
ask you this.
And with an assist from Svengoolie himself, plus art by Christopher Jones.
He looks like Ron Jeremy at a Halloween party.
Sure, fair.
No,
That's
you
fair.
don't want to see that. I saw Ron Jeremy at the airport, and it was bad enough.
That-
You can say whatever you want about Svengoolie, all right?
Yeah.
I, of
will.
course, know him as Rich Coase.
Yes.
Who did the Coase Zone.
The Coase Zone.
When we were kids and you come home to watch cartoons after school, he'd be the one who was like the interstitial host or whatever about Animaniacs and Looney Tunes or Tiny Toons and then Batman and all that stuff. And the man as a child, and I'm like probably junior high, he won my respect as a host because like Svengoolie's totally goofy and whatever. And like, don't get me wrong, Coase Zone was too. But there was a day where we had devastating tornadoes in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah.
And I
Probably
remember
playing
he
field
started
all
that
that.
show, and like he always walked through, I think, an elevator. It's rusty at that point. But I remember it came out and being totally subdued and explaining that it was a tough day and explaining what tornadoes were. And I was like, damn, this is like, I was like, sitting at Grandma Miller's house, he's eating a Hostess pie. Like, fuck. These guys really, this guy's giving you the straight truth right now. Can't
Damn,
I like
dude.
the idea of him in
Coase.
costume, like with a weatherboard and like a whiteboard. Like, this is how atmospheric pressure moves in this way.
We gotta get Rich Coase on the fucking We Have Cool Friends.
I knew it was a super fan
I'm
situation.
so
as soon as
upset
I saw
that I saw that, Kevin. Like the first bite
Oh, gross.
Oh, of what?
of his taqueria platter, whatever he has over there.
Get
I
it,
don't think
Kevin,
I've ever
get it.
seen something get after something with that gusto.
Oh, I love it,
Can
Kevin.
you let me fucking eat?
It's how
I mean,
he's
Are
got.
we ready to start the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got that thick,
Everybody
lustrous
stop fighting and start dancing.
Welcome to the first ever episode 242 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. I am Tim Gettys, joined by one of the coolest dudes in video games, Greg Miller.
Shout out to Svengoolie.
Yeah, man. For a riveting pre-show where we talk about this dude. He's half Sven, half Ghoul.
Dude, you're insulting what Svengoolie is to every Chicagoland fan watching.
You guys can go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames to get the exclusive pre and post show. Is it worth it this week?
Oh, yeah.
Imran, what do you think?
We had a lot of talk about Svengoolie and what he looks like.
Did we find out that Imran can't see lasers? We did.
What about my dragon rot theory that entertainment sickness can affect you in real life?
The former Imran Khan and FM3 himself, FM3_ on Twitch. How are them Fran Fridays going?
On and off. I mean, I've been doing it. I
Not
can't
so
remember
well.
because I've been sick, and like last week was the raid in Destiny. But no, I'm still always there to the best of my abilities on Friday. I'll be there this Friday playing
Oh, yeah, you
Destiny.
will. Imran, you've been streaming too.
Yeah.
How's that
I
been
gotta
going?
catch these.
It goes fine. I'm playing through Shenmue 2.
Cool.
And
Yes.
I increasingly am discovering that Shenmue 2 kind of sucks.
Wow.
Like, no, I mean, I am
It's an
sure
old game,
in
dude.
in 2001 when that game came out, it was revolutionary. In 2019, when you're catch 3 leaves consecutively, and if you miss one, then you have to redo this entire minigame. That sucks.
Yeah.
And they should really, like, I'm hoping Shenmue 3 is different. Mm-hmm. When I get to it, I'll figure that out. But
Yeah.
You're,
That's cool.
Imran-
What's your Twitch .tv?
Imran ZOMG.
That's what I was making sure.
There you go.
But ask him where his archives go.
Where do those archives go, Imran?
Those go on youtube.com/shockingalberto.
Shocking
Shocking
Alberto.
Yes.
Please give me a little bit of context here.
His
There
real
is
name's
a
Alberto.
there is a
What
no.
a shock.
there's a character in a 1980s anime movie by a director named Imagawa that was called Giant Robo, and there's a character in that game or that movie just called Shocking Alberto, and I was like, this is a cool ass name. I'm just stealing this and using it for my own username.
Cool.
Yeah.
And here we are.
On the record.
Here we are. The legend continues.
Legend
This is the Kind of Funny Gamescast each and every week right here on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. We talk about video games, all the things that we love about them. You can get the show early and ad-free by going to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, or you can wait and watch it on Mondays on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, roosterteeth.com, or podcast services all over the damn place, Greg.
A plethora of options. A cornucopia of choice.
You can
A
just search-
circus of value.
You can search for Kind of Funny Gamescast on your favorite podcast service. Leave us your thumbs up. Leave us your 5 stars. I don't want a penny less. Not a penny less.
Thank you for your support.
Shout out to our Patreon producers, Zach Parsley and James Hastings this month.
It's a tasty duo.
Oh, it is a tasty deal, Fran. We got energy today. Fran got all cooped up in a train on the way here, and now he's just ready to burst.
Unleash the legend.
Busted.
It's like when
Busted
you let Mr. Pringle out of a can. That's Fran right now.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I didn't know he was in the can.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Mr. Peanut is in the peanut. Anyway.
At the request of one nanobiologist, who I saw today is in the chat under a different name.
I
Yeah.
hate that.
Michael something or other.
I'm Michael.
If that's your real
Doxed.
name.
I'm Michael N. Biologist.
We are finally doing the Gamescast You're Wrong. Any time you listen to the show, if we get something wrong, you can go to kindoffunny.com/Gamescast You're Wrong. And the following week, we will correct it in the beginning of the show.
Nervous
Let's
about
see
this,
what
Tim.
we got wrong last week. Not much.
Good.
Not much. The nanobiologist himself writes in saying that Season of Undying is Season 8, not 7.
I don't think I said that.
He also said each. Well, I don't think it would have been me, Fran. Each Destiny 2 season is $10, separate from the digital deluxe edition, $25 extra from the base price. And then Kicked in the Cabal says Fran mentioned farming spin metal on Mars. Spin metal's found on Earth. Relic iron is found on Mars.
Fuck, dude. Can you show your face on the Destiny
Was
Community
an
podcast
example
again?
of Destiny 1,
Oh
places
my
to go, things to
God.
earn. There were two separate examples. I'm sorry.
And we did just get
Yeah, I got
a
that wrong
breaking news here. Greg Miller writes in just saying, "You a straight bitch." The real Greg Miller.
I did that. That was me.
Yeah, I heard
No,
that.
it's me because I'll say the real Greg Miller at the end.
Yeah, that's the only way. That's the only way. Anyways, if we get anything wrong this week, kindoffunny.com/Gamescast You're Wrong. We'll read it next week.
Especially if Fran got it
Yeah, I
wrong.
was going to say, please just watch Fran. Really.
Keep an eye, record everything I say.
And then send all the notes to
Transcribe it.
Destiny Community Podcast.
You gotta love it.
Email
You gotta
Luke
love it.
Smith directly and tell him all the things Fran
No,
got
don't
wrong.
do that. I don't want to fall from Bungie's grace.
Oh, you never were in it, buddy.
No, exactly.
Greg,
Yeah, buddy.
Concrete Genie.
It's finally here. Concrete
PlayStation
Genie.
4 exclusive, first party title.
Right?
Let's go.
Pixel Opus. It's what I love about it is it's a return to PlayStation doing something weird.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds maybe weird if you're not listening to every one of the shows, but we've talked a lot about PlayStation 4 in particular, right? Moving away and becoming this, hey, we make AAA first party games, we put those out, we don't go to E3, we're not showing indies on the stage, yada, yada, yada. PS3, of course, was the time of The Last Guy, and like, we're just making weird ass shit, putting a flower, whatever, be experimental, be artsy. Concrete Genie's fantastic. The more I played it, the more I loved it. Even stepping away from it, I platinumed it on, what's today's Thursday, so I platinumed it Tuesday night, and then we did the Cool Greg launch party stream on Wednesday, available soon on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames.
Saturday.
So if you're watching Monday, it's already up. And Pixel Opus came through to do it with us and talk to them about it. And even watching Cool Greg, I was like, man, this is such a special game. Like, I'm so glad they nailed this landing. I'm so glad it's resonating with people, because that was the other concern of like, it's a different kind of game, right? It's $30, $40 if you get the deluxe edition. It's short-ish, you know what I mean? I would say probably the main campaign 6 hours-ish, you know what I mean? I want to say it took me 2 solid nights of playing, so that
Yeah, I think
probably
I
checks
finished.
out.
I got close to finishing it in like a 3-hour demo.
Oh,
Yeah.
the whole game?
Well, they pushed me ahead to the third act because they wanted to show me that big thing.
Okay.
That changes.
Yeah,
style.
exactly. Okay. So, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I would say 6-ish hours. But again, it was that I played through it in 2 nights to beat the story, but then came back to platinum it and keep going. And if you're unfamiliar with it, the idea here is that you are Ash. You are a kid who loves to draw and paint. And so, as Cool Greg loves to point out, you go paint on the walls. And the idea here is that you have this town that you love and have fond memories of, and it has been, entrenched in darkness now. And you go through and paint with your magic paintbrush on the walls, which brings color and life back to it. There's a lot more going on there. There's a lot of different themes they're playing with. There's this group of other children who are bullies and bully Ash that roam the streets that you have to avoid, that wear on Ash. But what I described in my tweet was, and I think nails it the best for me personally, is that it's a storybook. You know how I talk about like Knights and Bikes feels like a storybook, like a golden book, like I'm paging through and you can feel that. It's a storybook mixed with the Goonies, where it is this coming of age story of understanding your, not even opponents, but your bullies, or if you're the bully, the kids you are bullying and why you're doing it. Like there's a whole bullying narrative to this adventure.
And they've worked with some anti-bullying groups. They wouldn't tell me which ones because I think they want to keep it anonymous. But like they did their research and they wanted to make sure that they actually showed that story the way it would most benefit players.
100%. And it's one of those games I talked about on the stream with Cool Greg, right? That I think I'm better at games than I am movies, but I always talk about in movies how dumb I am. Where like we'll leave and you, Tim, I'm pointing at you, and Nick will talk about movies on such a different level that I was just like, I liked it. I didn't notice the weird, sideways shots or whatever.
Dutch
This
angle.
stuff. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was looking for. Concrete Genie does so much with color temperature in a way that resonates even when I think I wasn't paying attention to it specifically. Where, it is dark and gray and these blues when it's infested with badness. And then when you go through and you paint on the walls, you light up these lights along it, which give it this warmth and give it, this very, like the hearth in the middle of a house thing. Cool,
like
like
depressed.
drawing on a wall. So like you
blue.
bring light and love back to it and you get those oranges and those reds, right? In the same breath, when Ash, the character you're playing as, has the flashbacks to his life and how he remembers the town before it all went wrong. They are that warmth, and they're orange, and they're reds, and they're colorful, and they're sweet, and it's him playing it with his parents, and this seal that was so funny that lived in the town or whatever. And then when you interact with the bullies and gets parts of their stories, theirs are flashbacks drawn in the same like animated cell style, kind of like Deadly Class, if anybody else watched Deadly Class. But theirs are those dark colors. Theirs are dark reasons. They have bad memories associated with the town, and it's why they're doing what they're doing and why you're doing what you're doing.
And I think when I talked to them, granted, I'm just going to keep relying on this.
Please,
thing,
no.
But they told me that it's kind of based on a couple of different like port towns, like Portland, Seattle, and San Francisco. So like the seal that's sitting on the rock is a San Francisco landmark.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things of the game is kind of inherently anti-capitalist. So they're taking a look at these cities of look what businesses and capitalism has done to these things.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I think the reasoning for why the town's bad is because, like, there was a disaster from businesses coming in and just abandoning it.
Yeah, and then it's overrun by people being, these kids who are destroying it and stuff. Yeah.
So, like, it's from looking at it from that perspective, it's interesting to see that kind of story coming from one of the biggest publishers in the world, saying like, "Hey, yeah, companies and corporations do terrible
Cannery
shit."
did all this stuff. Yeah. Ran it out. All that aside, like this is where I would have never expected to start with Concrete Genie, is talking about the story of Concrete Genie. When I started I played the VR mode, talked about it on Gamescast a while back about how much I loved it. Cool Greg had gone and done the single player stuff and come back and talk about how much he loved it. But even that was more the mechanics of it, right? Which are, as you go through, in the very beginning, these bullies tear up your art book and throw it to the winds. And so you have to go back through the game, collect your art pages. Obviously, in the very beginning, you meet the first genie, Luna, who's one of your creations, who gives you the magic paintbrush to go through and take the drawings off of your page and put them onto the walls. And then they're interacting, they're moving. You use the genies you're creating to solve different puzzles in the world to keep advancing the story, keep bringing light back to the world, get to the next section and keep going. Then, of course, as you mentioned, right, way deep in the game, probably 3/4 of the way through, there is a point where it switches over and the gameplay you've been doing that whole time switches to something completely different, and they actually nail it where that is fun and that is enjoyable. And that wasn't what I hate in a game when I get to the end and it's like, now fight the boss with something you've never done before. And you're like, this sucks.
That has been revealed if you want to actually just talk about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to. I want you to play Concrete Genie. Concrete Genie gets a giant Greg thumbs up seal of approval.
So you platinumed it.
I did.
Really quickly, which is impressive.
Thank you. That's what
I heard you when Pixel Opus was here yesterday. You were talking to them and you were praising them on their trophies. What makes them special?
They do it right. It's the thing that I think even with some first parties, Naughty Dog, you see people not understand what people enjoy about trophies and why you'd want to be a part of it. This is a game made by an incredibly small team. Pixel Opus is tiny. They're down in San Mateo. You know what I mean?
They've
They
got
work
like
in
half a
PlayStation.
floor up in that.
Exactly. And, talking about it on the stream, it vacillates. 12 is like how many people are usually there. There was like 20 at one point in terms of contractors. Every part, there's two designers made the entire world you exist in, which is crazy because it's so detailed and so beautiful. And so much fun to traverse. I digress. Trophy question. It's the idea that every trophy that's there is there to make you do something a different way, learn about a mechanic you would avoid. Every trophy icon is something they made from scratch for you. You can't miss any of the trophies. Cool. It's fun to get all these trophies. None of it is out of your reach, annoying. None of it is mundane, do this over and over and over again. They made this game that's so special because it's so personal. You find, your own story in it, let alone the story there. They made it that's so beautiful. The cutscenes are immaculate. Again, back to that. That's where the storybook feel really comes of like
it's
Ash's,
Leica. It's inspired directly by Leica.
Exactly. And like so his eyebrows are animated by, they're hand drawn and all this stuff. Like it looks like animation cells. Then it's fun to paint and make your own world and craft it that way. But then on top of that, they made a world that's just fun to explore, period. Where at the end of it, when I've lit up everything and the credits have rolled, when you go back into it, it is now just your playground to climb up, scale around, jump from rooftop to rooftop, slide down the ropes, like look in every nook and cranny, to figure out what you're missing and use the genies.
So it's not a platinum that makes you hate the game at the end.
100%.
Because I've had a number of those.
It's and you said in a relatively short amount of time I did this, right? It's a game that never wore out its welcome, and I desperately want more of. You know what I mean? Like I gorged this game. I went 3-4 nights or whatever of it, and then went back for just the VR stuff, which is a completely separate mode. Isn't again back to the trophies? Isn't tied to the platinum. It's its own. You pop up. It's basically DLC trophies right there.
Cool. That's smart.
Yeah, 100%. And like even that being said, it's that game. It's one of those games like, man, I'd love to play this again.
Yeah. Cool, Greg. You got to play a little bit of it yesterday. You don't have a PlayStation 4, so you can't play it right now. But if we get you the PlayStation 4, are you planning to keep playing through it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a game I'm going to play for the rest of my life, going back to. I'm trying to figure out the best way to stream it right now, because I do want my initial reactions to be streamed, because I think that'd be a lot of fun for everyone. But I'm used to streaming with music, and I'm not used to playing games and actually trying to beat them. So I did notice in our interview thing yesterday, I was a lot quieter than I was expecting to be, just because I was focused. So I don't know if the content is where I want it to be to stream, but I'm going to figure it out. Might beat the game and then stream it on my second run through.
That's something we talked about too, is that Extra Life this year. Of course, first weekend of November 3rd, Saturday, November 2nd.
I think 2nd.
I guess I literally have second, November 2nd. I was talking cool. I think him and I are going to do a part of the stream where he tries to he platinums it. Doesn't try, does. We'll get it knocked down to a few certain trophies.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you think that it has the chance to dethrone Mark Echo's Getting Up?
I mean,
Look at him stumped. He stumped him.
I'm a PS2 to the end of the day. And to the end of my days, I'm a PS2 kind of guy. So I don't know, man. It's a little too complicated for me to put it above that.
Okay.
I loved how
Please.
dumbed down the PS2 was for everyone.
Please,
Yeah.
Tim, use the full title. Mark Echo's Getting Up content under pressure.
Oh my God, you gotta love it, dude.
Was
there
it?
you go.
It's funny. I
My
met
man.
Mark Echo, I think, for that. I feel like we interviewed him. Were you at IGN then when that came out?
I want to say, I wasn't there for
met him
that
briefly.
game, but I'm pretty sure we interviewed Mark Echo and the guy Michael C. Hall from Dexter
From
together.
Dexter.
That sounds
We were
right.
working on a Dexter mobile game, and it was at Comic-Con, and I forgot. I was pretty new at IGN, and we had to do stuff, and they're like, some video guy needs to go with Greg to interview people at this like weird party for random ass games.
Totally bizarre.
Yeah, one of the weirdest things to this day that I've ever done. It's like, yeah, just follow Greg with the camera, and Dexter's gonna be there. And like a couple of people were fighting over it because they're like, oh fuck, I want to like meet him. That's cool. And they're like, yeah, he's with Mark Echo. And I was like, fuck you all, Sean Finnegan. I'm going. I need to meet Mark Echo. And I remember I asked him, I'm like, so what's up with Getting Up too? And he's like, I don't think so, man. That was weird though.
Kevin, I found it. I'm gonna send it over to Control for you to find.
That's awesome. The
Thanks,
game was cool. I
buddy.
remember being super excited for that, though. Yeah, because of the art in it and all that.
But that's the thing is like, and I don't want to ruin.
Yeah.
See, that's especially for Cool Greg, because how much have you played much further than what you played yesterday? And I don't mean because at the
I just
preview
beat
event.
that level.
That's the preview event you did.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's the thing of like. The thing at the end, right, harkens back so much to those kind of games, actually.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Jet Grind Radio or whatever, where it's like, yeah, sorry. What was the? They did a grind thing, didn't they? I don't think it doesn't matter.
Jet Grind was our American name.
Dreamcast, and
The
then
Jet Set
Jet Set
Radio
Radio.
Future was the
Gotcha,
sequel.
gotcha.
The Xbox One, yeah.
I'm excited for you to get to the end.
It's actually very similar to Mark Echo's Getting Up now that I think about it, because that game does introduce enemies at some point.
yeah.
Yeah, so similar to Concrete Genie.
There you
Throw
go.
this up there. This is me interviewing a young Greg Miller, interviewing Michael C. Hall at Comic-Con, and of course Mark Echo. I can't tell you for the life of me what I talked to them for 6.5 minutes about. What are we doing here?
We're back to our 3D roots. It's a new game on iOS, Android, open world Miami. Be a bunch of content packs throughout
Michael C. Hall also has no
delivery
idea
of
why
the
he's
game.
there.
It'll launch this fall during the season, and we're really,
Just
really
forget
excited.
it. We
How
can
many
pop
pieces?
off
Now I'm gonna
now.
look up this Dexter the
console.
game and see how many
point is
content
this.
packs actually
You
came
know,
out of it.
Yeah,
But so cool, Greg. So Concrete Genie, you're loving it. It gets the 2 thumbs up.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait to beat it, dude.
Cool stuff. Anything more, Greg?
No, I mean I can't say enough nice things about it, and I think it'd be a cool one for Spoilercast or something like that, or even a video game club, which we forgot last month. That's when he pointed out to me that we need to do 2 now. Fran, I need you for we should do. They
Let's
want to
do
do a
one,
Borderlands
dude.
one. We said we would do last time.
Oh, let's
and then
do it.
we should do maybe this. But there's so many games coming out now. We have our pick of the litter. Cool.
Yeah.
Loved it. Great soundtrack. Beautiful
Destiny.
game. Really blew me away. You know, I had I was looking forward to, this will be a fun little game, and I thought it, excelled on every level.
Yeah, it's definitely a game you play to sit down and chill with. Like
Totally, it was relaxing. It was a relaxing game every night.
Because I had played it under not ideal circumstances. If you have a couple hours of this demo, get as far as you need to get.
Yeah.
So that's time pressure. It's I don't feel like solving this. I'm just gonna do the simplest genie I could do. But there's such cool stuff. The creation process of you can add stuff onto whatever genie you want.
Yeah, when you make your genie, you put you've unlocked different head horns or hats or tails.
So you can make a rhino.
Yeah, if you want to.
In
If
the
you're
spirit
talented
of
enough.
Mark Echo.
All right, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Do
So
it.
yeah, Dexter the Game 2 looks like the only piece of content on
Sorry,
IGN
2?
is this interview.
Was there a Dexter the Game 1?
Never made it out the door, huh?
Oh
Maybe.
man, Fran.
Yes, sir.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Yes. This one.
I'm about to break.
This one was a little tough to get to because we had a lot going on with Borderlands and the Destiny grind and all that. So meaning it is the same type of game as Division, the looter shooter stuff. So if folks remember, Ghost Recon Wildlands came out, 3 years ago or ish?
2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 3 years ago, actually. So when that came out, I really liked it because what made the newer version of Ghost Recon at that time, that style special, was this huge area within, I believe it was Mexico, South America, Central America.
2 years ago was Wildlands.
It was
Okay, thank
Bolivia in Wildlands, right?
Yeah,
Well, didn't they make up their own
which is
thing?
what the bottom of Central.
Yeah.
Mexico? All right, we're gonna have a lot of.
No, I remember
kind of funny
because, like,
conversations wrong.
Because there was the actual country sued Ubisoft over it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, 'cause-
So
yeah.
Anyway, what made it really cool was it's really
Bolivia.
big open area. You could hop in a helicopter with a squad of 4 if you want, and just go around to these missions. And it wasn't a perfect experience, but I really liked it because it was so wide open, and you would just get together with a group of friends, sync your shots up. Wait, it's in South America. We're really bad. Oh, it is still Central.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it is South America.
It is South America. Yeah, Kevin pulled it up. Thank you. We don't need your corrections anymore. Anyway.
Too late.
I like Ghost
already
Recon
50.
is where I'm going with it, but it wasn't a perfect experience. I played it a lot with Brian Albert at the time at IGN, and I really liked it. But as we've moved on, looter shooters have become the conversation. Borderlands is one of the few to not get into the weekly games as a service thing and all that. But so what Ghost Recon Breakpoint does, believe it or not, and I didn't realize this until recently because I played the demo at E3 and they didn't really show this off too much, is you actually have a central location and maybe more, which is sort of your tower, or just like in Division, the White House, that you go back to and you see shared world. Like if Greg was playing,
okay.
he could be on my server and actually walking around in that shared space. Obviously, we can squad up. He can be on my friends list. Definitely should probably be more of a co-op experience. I was playing it single player, only played it a few hours, so I've only scratched the surface, so I can only comment on that part of it. The game was also provided by the Epic Store, technically probably from a Ubisoft deal, so just
Good point.
full
Yeah,
disclosure.
game provided by PlayStation on Concrete Genie.
Concrete Genie, exactly.
Yes.
Both of those games were provided to us. But so again, it takes what I liked about Wildlands, this big open area. You can fly around, get in vehicles, like a little bit of that GTA vibe, just hopping in stuff, and lots of cool weapons. But it brings in more tactical gameplay is one big change as well. Like if you remember the demos at E3, it was all about super intense. It also has what's his name, Shane from Walking Dead. What's
Bernthal.
What? Bernthal. Exactly. John Bernthal. So they bring a star to it, but it's really like that intense warfare feel. And you can get into the ground and roll over and do camo in the mud. And literally guys will walk right by you if you're not careful. So they want to bring that intensity, and you can get hurt more so you really got to bandage up a lot, watch your stamina more. So it's a lot more tactical. There'll be a spy plane that just passes over you. It happened for the first time to me, and I didn't realize what was going on. All of a sudden I was just spotted by a spy plane, and everybody descended on me and just wrecks you right away. The checkpoints are pretty good, actually, though. That doesn't really set you back too far.
It is interesting because I've watched a bit of the game. I feel like we're in that wave now of games that are inspired by Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I could see a little bit of that too.
You can go after John Bernthal at the beginning.
Yeah,
it's just you have no chance, really.
Yeah, you need to get your gear score up or whatever, like you would in Division. It recommends that. That's a good point, though. I guess you can just go give it a shot.
Yeah,
I think Breakpoint has always been like that.
Has it?
You mean Ghost Recon?
Ghost Recon has always been like that.
Because I played through Wildlands, I don't recall anything.
You have to discover missions in Wildlands to get there, but
you can. It's all open. You can just.
You're right. Actually, it is open, and you can go into
it's
super.
Just everyone kicks your ass.
Dangerous areas. Yeah. But maybe this is been pushed a little more in that direction. But definitely, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you were playing on PS4, I'd be down to join you, squad.
Yeah, on PC. I should know I'm playing on PC too. I can't comment to console performance. Shocker, right? So anyway, I feel like I'm all over the place on this. So let me rein it in. I like the style of Ghost Recon. I really liked Wildlands, but the progression kind of like fell a little flat after a while. The PvP was like okay, and so it takes that and it tries to bring Division and a little bit of the Destiny feel to it. With the grind, you get green drops and so on, and you start leveling up your gear and get a gear score. I like that about it. But as far as I've made it, it's sort of lacking some personality and pace. Now, this is just the first few hours, but it didn't open up as like that super intense, story like they showed at E3. I thought that's what it would be.
Sure.
Now they have all the close-ups on the characters. You do get some dialogue eventually from Bernthal, but it actually takes a while. So it doesn't like start as cinematic.
You're gonna tell me?
Yeah, it doesn't start as cinematic.
Now I'm gonna ask you something.
Now I'm gonna ask you, Rick.
Yeah.
Walking Dead quotes.
I know. I was going to do an impression, then I was like, no, not right now. So anyway, it doesn't start as intense as I thought, but it's a pretty open world. But it does feel almost in a way a little bit generic in some ways.
This is not the same studio as the Wildlands.
Is it?
That's what I'm looking up. It's Ubisoft Paris.
Is doing this one?
Yeah, they did the Raving Rabbids, and they.
I mean, Paris does a lot ultimately, right?
Yeah, well, I'm just surprised that I guess the Wildlands studio may be working on something for next gen.
Wait, Wikipedia cites Wildlands as
maybe they both
Paris as well.
They probably. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong, but
we're gonna kind of
I entered a different developer, so I was looking up.
You're wrong.
When I played this at E3, the demo, it was like I have said this many times. It was like one of the worst demos I've ever been a part of. With how it was set up, it was a 4-player thing, and the way that they
threw you in on that one.
The dev was kind of like, yeah, exactly. They just throw you in, and the way that they were running us through, everything felt rushed, and it felt like every single time that they'd teach us something about the tactical mechanics, where there was so much to learn. The moment things got interesting, they'd cut and move us on to something else. An example would be like, all right, we're going to go, and the 4 of us are going to come in. You're going to go in that corner. You're going to go in that corner. You're going to go up high a little bit. You're going to go down low.
It was way too
We're
direct.
all going to point rocket launchers, and then we're all going to together shoot and blow up this thing.
This tank.
And then the moment that we did that, we all get in position. It's like, oh, this actually, now we get this. We're here. This is cool. And then we shot, and then all of a sudden it was like, all right, cool, now on to the next thing. And it's like, that didn't feel like anything happened.
It's because he told you exactly what to do because he didn't want the demo to go wrong and you to feel frustrated.
And it's a limited amount of time.
Yeah, meaning literally that's what they were doing. And in that type of game, you have no idea what you're doing. You would have walked away frustrated. So instead, they gave you the pacifier version where you're like, oh, I have nothing to cry about, but I don't know, it was kind of boring, right?
It was not so much that, just I feel like there was a lot of buildup, and then it just kind of wasn't worth it. In the moment,
there's no sense of reward, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
because you were hand fed here, use this, go here, go.
But even that, the reward itself isn't that cool.
You should have got drops from it. Is really what it would have been. By the way, I played the same thing. I don't think the drops were enabled at the time. I don't know if they were talking as much about gear score and drops, but I hear you. It's definitely. From what I would say, here's what you want. Let me get to the meat of this. If you want and are interested in this type of game, you want to grind for loot, but also you like the open world Ghost Recon vibe. You like the tactical, more serious. It's definitely more serious and takes itself a lot more seriously. All the dialogue with the characters is intended to be a little more, emotional. Like, this is a serious mission, everybody. There's nothing playful about it. But it is a lot more tactical. And so where I'm going with this, if you can get a group of friends together that take it as seriously as you do, I think it will be a fun experience for you. If you don't have that, maybe if you're the type of player that wants to go alone, you love crawling in the mud alone, listening to the sounds of the environment, and it's not a lot going on except for that, and you're crawling through the mud, maybe hop in a vehicle. I mean, there's moment to moment you can get in fights, but it's very slowly paced like that so far. First few hours, bear in mind. What it's like in the end game and these things changes.
But are you even having enough fun to want to go further?
I am this type of person that I think I would enjoy this, not for huge stretches at a time. But I'm hesitating because I haven't played more than a few hours. I know games like this. Division's the same way. If you try to judge Division on the first, couple hours, that's not a good way to judge.
You say perfect 10, you walk away.
So I think I would be cautious going into it. But I think if you're interested in this type of game, there's something there for you, and I'm curious to see how it evolves. I think they brought the right stuff to Ghost Recon. I haven't said that yet. I think this is what it needed. I'm liking the leveling up, finding the gear in the midst of basically you're still playing Ghost Recon in the style of the old ones. Like go out on this mission, but now it's like, what's your gear score? And before, as a comparison in Wildlands, you'd find a blueprint for an item, right? And that was just like, oh, I just want that item. But now it's a little more like, I guess in some ways you're playing for your gear score. It's like I can go out on this mission and get new weapons, and you know exactly where to go and all that. A little note about taking it seriously too, and I like to play games this way. It has guided mode, which is the default, and that's going to give you the waypoint on this really big map of where to go. They do tell you in a lot of tutorials up front too. There's a lot going on, you know, kind of with what you're getting at, Tim, to understand before I think it sinks in. You can turn guided mode off. I think you could do this in the last one too, yeah. And it's really cool because it just gives you hints, like it's in this area, you'll see a lighthouse nearby, it's above this lake, and so you don't really know until you get there if you're going to the right area. I think players who like to play that way are going to get more enjoyment out of it. So
it's at a 59 right now on Metacritic.
Yeah, so like I said, I think be cautious, maybe not for everybody. I gave Anthem a 6.8 at the time when it came out. I recommended it to people who, you know, might be into it, right? But be cautious otherwise. It's certainly not a game for everybody.
Do you have a sense in the first few hours of how the experience grind in that game is? Like, Ubisoft's not been great about that recently they removed the microtransactions from this game at launch that they called quote-unquote time savers.
Right.
So, like, that when I see that makes me think, like, oh, this game is not going to respect my time by making the experience grind that more frustrating.
Haven't played enough to answer the question. Like, I don't feel underleveled in any way for what I'm doing, right? So it's hard to say, like, ooh, I need more experience. And I don't know where the end game lands either. Okay. So I do know some people that are into these types of games that are playing quite a bit of it and seem pretty excited by it. But again, I think it's going to be a very niche type of experience. It's certainly not for everybody, but I like where they're going with it. Curious to see if they evolve it too. We saw Division, you know, addressed a lot of things right out the gate too that kind of improved it, and then also it still has a ways to go with where it's at.
What was your read on the update that's coming next week?
I didn't look into the details yet. I watched the trailer and it was really cool.
You hate to see it when Destiny just rots somebody's brain from the inside.
Okay, I played
out,
Destiny for 70 hours last week, and my brain melted.
You know what I mean? It's a real thing. You should hit up the World Health Organization. Sounds like you got a problem.
I don't know. I feel like I was all over the place with Breakpoint. Are there any like key questions about it otherwise?
Do you fight robots? Because that's a central conceit of the game, right? Is it like you're an island that's been like doing weird drone technology?
Like Tim Cook / Elon Musk has taken over the island and is like some mastermind. And so it's meant to be that they're like this high-tech savior of the world type, but then they're keeping people hostage on this, like island or whatever, and they have like really high-tech stuff. That's the thing that's been added. Unlike the cartel feel of Wildlands, duly noted, there's a lot of like high-tech enemies, high-tech drones, high-tech spy planes, and eventually I assume gadgets and stuff that you can get too, but it diversifies the gameplay beyond just being this guy's a sniper, this guy's the captain. That's where I'm at with it, by the way. But eventually you get into taking on these big bases where there's a lot of different skills. In fact, because I turned off guided mode and I was streaming, I wasn't paying attention, I thought there was this huge like city looking place and where I thought I was supposed to be going. I went up, I was like, oh, it's the base. I just wasn't paying attention. And it looked to be like 10, 15 guys. And I'm like, like maybe I'll try to start to snipe them out, you know? And so I like go around this lake and I'm like, well, I better position myself a little better across the way. And I like open one shot and it's like, and there was like 40 exclamation marks. It's like obviously a huge base that's fortified. And all of a sudden they're all eyes on me. You hear the alarms going off. Everything's happening. I'm like, I'm laying there still. They're like, maybe I'll take a few. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm supposed to be here right now. And I start like booking. This is even the better part. And literally I get about like 25 feet away and I just hear like, and then right where I was sitting on the beach, like it blows up with this mortar shell that they shot. Like they had my location. I was like, I'm glad I left. Yeah. So there is some cool stuff like that, but I couldn't speak to the overall progression.
I'm just hoping by endgame you're fighting like actual standing robots, like Terminator style.
I don't know if it has that, but the tank that we fought at E3, that's what you were describing, right? It was very Terminator, even more high tech.
An HK.
It's like Minority Report, like futuresque, right? So definitely not for everybody, but of interest. We'll see where it goes.
Cool.
I'll report in if I can play more between Borderlands and Destiny 2 and checking in on Division. And
yes, my man. Come on, let's
get
out there. Let's get out there. Come on.
Imran, you played After Party.
I did play After Party. Microsoft had some of us come out for an event where I played the first, I think, 2.5 hours of the game. So After Party, if you for people who don't know, is the newest game from the developers at Night School who made Oxenfree. And the main thing about that game was like very natural dialogue and very interesting story. You just kind of follow around a couple of teenagers doing their like teenage shit. Yeah.
Drinking on the beach.
Drinking on the beach. It kind of veers into sort of horror movie-ish territory at some point, but
Often does.
yeah. And so After Party is they wanted to make a game about a bar. And they basically worked from that idea of, okay, so what would you actually be doing in the bar? Is it more fun to be the person drinking or the bartender? So they're like, okay, well, it's going to be someone drinking, and this game needs a villain then. So they figured, okay, Satan. Satan makes a logical villain. Mm-hmm. So the conceit of the story is that you play as two teenagers, Lola and Milo. I know Lola is voiced by Janina. Yeah.
Gavankar.
Yes. And I forget Milo's voice actor off the top of my head. But they find themselves in hell. And they don't know why they're there. They think it's a mistake. And they're told by someone, there's a loophole that if you outdrink the devil and outparty him, you'll be shown the door back to life.
Words to live by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very
so
tenacious indeed.
the game is about trying to figure your way out into Satan's party. And then out-party him, basically, and get shown the door back to the real world.
So this all sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
How is this a video game?
It's think of it more as like a narrative thing. So when you're going around these places in hell, and hell is like a bureaucracy too. When the day ends, everyone just goes drinking and does their own shit, and like you don't have to worry about demons harassing you while you're walking around hell. But you have the options of who to talk to. You generally have dialogue choices, and you can make those dialogue choices different depending on what you choose to drink. So, for example, when you're trying to get into Satan's party, you get all the way to the top, you realize, oh, there's no way to get in. We're not invited. So you look on Twitter, basically. I forget what they exactly call it, but it's basically Twitter. And someone's saying, I have an invite to the party. And you can have a couple of choices of who to actually pursue for this. So I found a woman who says, all I need is a drink, and I'll give you my invite. So I went to go look for her, and I went to the bar before I go talk to her. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, order one drink for her and order a drink for me. And the drink, the effect says, you become confident and flirty. So every time I was able to talk to her as Milo, I was able to have this third dialogue option that was like extremely, how do I put this, pickup artist style of like, yeah, you know you want me. So why don't we just make this deal and let's go? And that extended to like various other things that they say it's not a branching narrative. And I think we talked about this on Games Daily a couple of weeks ago about how I said I didn't like branching narratives in games anymore because I'd rather have one well-written story.
Tell me your story.
Yeah. So this is that. This is awesome. Tell you a story, but you do have options of how the dialogue goes.
Sure.
So for example, in this
Similar
one,
to like Walking Dead Season 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like that's always going to basically end the same way, even if you change the details.
Yeah.
And like, so this one, the lady she was a singer in real life. She sold her soul to Satan, and she sold it for a successful career her whole life, and then she died a year later because like an accident.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Rule 3, don't fuck me.
She has to basically sing at this like musicians lounge bar for the rest of eternity. So she was booked that night, and she couldn't go to a reunion show at Satan's party. So you need to go talk to her manager and the club owner and get them to like actually let her out for this day. So I was there and I was like, okay, I have a couple options. I could lie to them, I could tell them the truth, or I could hit on her. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try and hit on her. And she's like, you're cute, but no, you're an actual human and this is hell. So there's absolutely no chance. So that was the wrong drink for that choice. Okay. But there's other drinks that are like, this one makes you talk like a pirate. This one makes you more confident.
Makes you talk like a pirate. Okay.
And there might be somebody in there that's like, I want to talk. I think it'll be hilarious if I talk to a pirate. There was one where I was playing a game of what's the word? Beer pong against a demon, and because hell is about trash talk, I drank a drink before that makes you more aggressive and confident. So I'm playing like with Lola, who is a very not necessarily meek person, but very like to herself and like not necessarily aggressive. She's basically giving straight up trash talk the entire time. And even though I lost the beer pong, I did such a good job trash talking. The guy whose birthday party it is, who was a serial killer, he's basically a John Wayne Gacy type, came in. It's like, that was great. I'm going to invite you upstairs to the actual party, which is where you're trying to go.
Wait, did you actually play beer pong with gameplay mechanics?
Yes. It's 2D. So basically, you're like aiming like an Angry Bird style.
It's always like the side of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not top
Side-scroller.
down or anything.
Yeah. So yeah, like it's an Angry Birds kind of thing, and like I think it went to
so
the
you're
last
like-
cup, and he just happened to get it, so
And-
I lost it.
And outside of that as well, are you walking like from scene to scene, or is it like a moving world that you move through?
Have you played Oxenfree at all?
No.
Okay, so there is a world map. You can like see the entirety of hell if you want to, but you have basically a ferryman named Samantha who's played by Ashley Birch. And
Oh, cool.
she like during these like loading transitions between areas, she talks to you about things about the way hell works. So there's like a fun or an interesting conversation where you're like, so yeah, how do we know Satan's not going to cheat? It's like, he's not evil. And I'm like, but he's Satan. And then there's like a longer conversation of like, yeah, like he's the morning star. He had these thoughts about leadership and authoritarianism with God that kind of got him cast out. But God had a better propaganda machine. So he may be running hell, but that doesn't mean he's necessarily like a bet squelcher. So there's a pretty funny line of like Lola just going, it kind of sounds like you're defending Satan. And then just like quiet for like the next like 30 seconds until the scene transition changes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So Lola and Milo, are they friends?
They're friends. They've been
Brother,
best
sister,
friends since I want to
lovers?
say like middle school. And like they went through college together, and the game opens with them on at a college party. And it's the worst fucking college party ever, that people are just bringing up all these horrible things they've done in college. Like, hey, yeah, you were that guy who puked the first day, weren't you? It's like, oh, I think they call him like exit flu or something like that as a nickname. And then like, okay, we just need to go. This is awful. And it's like, gets revealed, oh wait, actually you're in hell. This is you being tortured. And then like you go through an employee onboarding kind of thing where they ask you a couple of questions like, what are you most nervous about? Have you ever done this? Are you ever get haunted by something embarrassing? And then when you answer those questions, like it creates a personal demon that like just comes at you at certain points in the game and just starts taunting you about various things like, yeah, you're never actually going to do this. You know that, right? You're going to be stuck here for eternity. So it's a very like an interesting mechanic. If you answer that honestly, that pries on your insecurities.
Yeah.
So like
that's cool. Yeah. So what systems is this coming to?
It is PC, PS4, and Xbox One, I believe.
And it's on Xbox Game Pass, right?
Yes, it'll be Game Pass day one.
Yeah.
I believe it comes out end of this month.
It does. Yeah.
This sounds cool. I'm into it.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I played this game I think originally last year at like a day of the devs. And I was like, this is amazing writing. I can't believe I am eager to see where this goes, and the concept is great too.
Cool. Greg.
Hey, bud.
One Night Stand.
One Night Stand.
It's a game?
Kind of funny games showcase alum finally came out. You know what I mean?
From the bar to the one night stand.
I mean, it's all the same
Perfect
thing, right?
segue,
It's the
Tim.
sequel, right?
Cinematic universe going
So
on.
yeah, visual novel that came to PC forever ago, but is made its way over here to consoles now. If you remember, I think we had during our kind of a game showcase the announcement it was coming to Switch as well. So. This might, if you ring a bell for Games Daily listeners, that on Monday or whatever, somebody wrote in saying, hey, you missed that it's out. And I was like, I didn't realize it was out. Like, oh my God, that sucks. I'll go home and get it right away. Went home, bought it. Then the next day we had time here, started it up to play it, right, and get into it. And as soon as I started up, it was the Radalika Games logo. And I was like, hold the fucking phone. And I powered down that Switch and went over to PlayStation, got it there. Because Radalika Games is the one who makes all the cheap platinums. if you're going to get a Radalika game, you're getting a platinum pretty gosh darn easy. Well, I'm 100% a trophy whore. You know this. But everybody stop. I'm doing if you're an audio listener, I'm doing the Jurassic Park, hold back all the raptors here. The game is good. The game is a good game. It's a good indie game. It lives up to what I saw in it when we put it on the showcase.
So why'd they make it then?
They didn't make it. They just published it.
Yeah.
They publish stuff.
They do publish stuff that's not just
well, remember, I've talked
stuff.
about it before where that Mega Man one, where it was an easy platinum, but there was a lot more game, but I liked what I played of it and got me into, want to play more. They don't, Radalika isn't just like, hey, we make shit games. Like, yeah, we put easy trophy lists in all our games.
I just thought it was weird. It's like, because I thought they just made trophy games. Like, now here's this artsy game about a one night.
Well, again, like you figure this is a game, I'm looking at the Wikipedia, right, that came to PC and Mac in 2016. So, like, it's been out for a while, right?
Where were you then, Greg?
I was like any normal person, be like, see you later. You know what I mean? I don't need a computer virus.
Missing out, man.
All right?
Yet another
Chris
PC
Hansen's
exclusive.
never been like, show me the Switch logs, all right? He's like, show me the logs from the computer, all right? That's how he gets the pedophiles, Fran. So I'm just saying, protect yourself, Fran. You never know who you're playing Destiny with out there, all right?
It's true. That is true.
Anyways, One Night Stand, it is an attainable platinum that I got yesterday and had a great time with after a few hours. But even without the platinum, if it would have just been on Switch and I wouldn't have known any better and I would have just played it on Switch, it would have been a game that I would have kept coming back to. Because the concept here is it's a visual novel. You wake up hungover, you pick up your phone, you finally go to charge your phone, you're like, this isn't my room. You roll over, there's a naked woman next to you. It's just her back, everybody. This isn't a gratuitous sex game or anything.
No.
It's not a Vita game.
Exactly. This isn't a video game. You roll over, she's there, and then it's off to the races of you were blackout drunk, you don't remember anything, so you need to use clues in the environment to piece that together, and then that also is how much do you want to share with the stranger? Do you want to tell her that you don't know anything? Do you want to try to play it off? Do you want to find out her name by digging through her wallet? Do you want to what are your boundaries of privacy? What do you want to do with the clues in the room? How do you want to engage with the situation?
Check those PC logs.
Exactly. There is a PC there. And then there's a bunch of different endings based on that then. So you get to go through all these different things.
The story sounds cool. Watching you play it, it did not look interesting to me.
But I think that's because it's not a Tim game.
Yeah,
it's not a Tim game.
But the idea of the story sounds like it definitely could be. You know, it's like I like those type of Emily's Away, right? I love that.
So what about watching it didn't do? Okay.
The art style rubbed me the wrong way.
Very minimalist,
I don't
kind of
like
Dr. Katz to an extent. Of
Ed, Ed, Eddie look.
Yeah.
Where it's like
Dr.
everything's
Katz,
just
I'm
constantly shaking, and I'm like, it just seems it's very distracting looking.
Gotcha.
And then the gameplay elements that I saw, it's just the type of stuff that I don't really like, where it's just like I saw the phone dialing things, right, and it's just like your dialogue options are on each of the buttons as you go through. It just seems.
Oh, you're talking about the end of it. That was just me looking at the endings. And when the only time you look at your phone is in the very beginning when you get a text to wake up to, and you either decide if you want to text Gary back or not, and then there's an option in the second part of that conversation if you want to send him a photo of the woman next to you, so then at the end though, your phone pops up with all those different endings.
Yeah.
So that's to show you what endings you've unlocked, and then as you hover over them, if you don't have them, it gives you a clue of how to get it.
Okay, so that makes it a lot better, but. Still watching you do it, it looked like it's a game that would be best suited on a phone. Like when playing Florence, right? It's like a lot of the stuff that you're doing is super simple and you know exactly what you need to do. It's just a matter of doing it. Doing that with a controller would be infuriating.
Gotcha.
And watching what you were doing with the controller there, I was kind of like, that's just, he knows what he needs to do, or there's a choice he needs to make. This just seems like busy work to make it a video game instead of just it being a story somewhere. But am I wrong about that?
I didn't have that problem, but I like visual novels. I like well done visual novels. I like these narrative adventures when they're well done. So for me, I was using the stick to move the cursor around a la Destiny, right? Give me a pound there. But you could use the D-pad and kind of lock onto stuff and go that way too. And I haven't played it on Switch, even though I have it over there. It might be touchscreen there too, which would be a more simple blah blah click on doing thing. But that was never a complaint for me. It was more of I thought it handled the fast forward feature well of you can set it to all text or just text you've seen before, because obviously when you do a run, you see something, you come back and you want to see a different branch, there's still dialogue choices or there's still conversations that you have with yourself that you need to get through to get to the next thing to change it.
What's the tone of the game? Is it funny or is it serious?
It can be either. And that's the best part about it, I think, is that I tweeted out, Kevin, if you want, can you go to my Twitter and bring up the last thing I tweeted up about this game? You want me to link you to it?
What is the game about? Because I'm still getting we've heard the title. I don't know the central concept of this.
The concept is you've woken up next to somebody, you don't remember anything. How do you want to handle it?
Is it like a thriller or is it?
I mean, it can be if you want it to be. If there's pills next to the bed, you can look at them and then jump to conclusions about that, which will take you down a very specific ending if you want to go that way. It is this idea of, do you want to lie to this woman? How much does she know about you? And then, what do you want to do, right? Because if Kevin can get to it, keep scrolling. It's still today. I tweet too much. I apologize. You're going to see one that has all sorts of text on it. Keep going. You're almost there. There you go, big guy. That's the one. Right, every time you walk out of the house, you get the epilogue here of what it is. If you're an audio listener, it says, the girl waves you goodbye as you step outside her front door. You walk out onto the street and head towards the nearby bus station that she suggested. You smile on your way. It turned out she really is a nice girl, and you stole her panties.
Ew, you pervert.
Hey man, get that
My
trophy.
favorite thing about you playing this was Nick.
Yeah.
Nick Scarpino looks over at Greg playing this game and is just like, it looks like you're playing a simulation of a sexual harassment
a training simulator. When you start at Walmart and you're like, what shouldn't you say to
so
a
funny.
coworker?
It does look like that though.
Yeah. And so the tone about it is there's funny stuff like that with the panties in it. There's more unfunny stuff. I think the true ending, when you've done it all and you've unlocked every one of the endings, is a gut punch. that was like one of those like
It's your sister.
not exactly, no, not at all. But it was a very much like, oh fuck, I didn't like. You've seen so much, and there's narrative threads. You're like, oh, I want to pull on that later, but you get pulled away from it. And so to get to the end of it and find out a little bit more and put the whole thing in context, you're like, oh man, I didn't see that coming. Like I if you like these kind of games, if you like those kind of explorations, if you like, the same way I was with like telling lies, of like keeping notes and doing all these different things. If you like uncovering stuff and trying to connect it all together, it works for me.
Cool.
So, like, you've talked about the Nina Freeman's game last week. You've talked about Telling Lies before. You seems like you prefer these like shorter, like bite-sized visual novels.
Yeah,
it's in
between stuff, right? For me, where it's like I'm on a Borderlands kick, or I want to get back and platinum this. I'm waiting for Death Stranding. I'm doing this, like for in between big games or whatever, or just a palate cleanser. Yeah,
but like the bigger ones don't necessarily appeal to you, like say a Zero Escape series or Phoenix Wright.
Zero Escape. I didn't like on Vita when I tried jumping into those because they were too much of like now. How do you spin the clock and figure out this? I'm like, I don't want a detective mystery in terms of like puzzles. Right. I like the relationships being the puzzle. You know what I mean? Of like how to, or even how. Yeah, okay, cool. Like she has a guitar there, and there's a trophy for her playing it. How do I get to her to playing the guitar? That's a different kind of thing.
I think actually you might genuinely enjoy Danganronpa. I've
tried so many times.
Really?
Like I started on Vita. Colin loved Danganronpa, and so like I would jump in and try to go with it. It just never clicked for me. The one I am excited about that you were talking about the other day for me too is Return of the Obra Dinn.
Yeah.
Where I never played that.
It's not really a visual novel, but yeah.
People were talking to me about it more of like if I liked with Telling Lies, like the notebook idea, that I could get a kick out of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But like I was also like on that same track, there's a new game from the guy who made the Zero Escape series called like AI, the Somnium Files.
Okay.
That I had not heard about until last week at all. But it sounds like it's more up my alley. It's like the visual novel thing, but more of like a murder like trial kind of thing. Okay. So I'm gonna look into that sometime soon, but this reminded me to give that a shot.
Yeah. See, it's something I think about setting too in the same way that, the old thing was like I don't like space. Yeah. Because it takes such a specific space video game for me to be interested in it. Like I think these are all granted fantastical, but more like based in this happens after one night stands after a night of drinking, right? Mm-hmm. Nina's thing is just her falling in love. Telling Lies is real world, terrorism and all this other stuff, but like it is based on these are people, right? Like that aren't getting super far removed. Whereas like Danganronpa was like, I'm the exceptionally average student, and the exception. I'm like, all right, and the teddy bear's talking. I'm like, all right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just didn't work for me.
You need something to hook on to.
Yeah, exactly. And trying to figure out what happened with this sexual relationship is about it. And then also, like, it reminds. Oh shit, I'm not gonna remember. There's a PlayStation 2 game I loved. That was the first time I ever did something like this, and I'll have to look it up and get back to you. But it's that idea of like, every time that you finish one of those screens, right? It's like that could have gone better. I wonder how else it could have ended. It's like how I feel when I finish them. Like, I want to keep seeing it. Like I didn't look at for the trophies even. I didn't look at the trophy list for a long time. Like I did it. I think
you don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to know what I was actually driving at. I just wanted to see what I could find out about it.
Right.
Very cool. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about our sponsors.
Our very cool sponsors.
Yeah, next week, something I was trying to figure out here, we're sponsored by this thing called Escape the Invasion.
Escape room?
Have you heard of this?
No.
It reminds me of this Telling Lies thing that you're talking about, where it's like you have to take notes and figure out things. It's a
video game?
It's a real game. Like, it's a life game, man.
No, it's escape room.
It's an escape room, but like in a we don't need to go anywhere type thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You do it in your home.
So.
Yeah. It's
interesting.
It's interesting stuff. It looks really cool. You get sent this box. This week's not sponsored, but you'll hear all about it next week. But it's just I was trying to figure out because I remember somebody that designed this also worked on Telling Lies or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, you get this box. You have to figure out this mystery.
That's a neat idea.
Yeah, it's cool stuff.
Like Clue.
But
like a loot box that sends out a monthly escape room would actually be a pretty cool idea.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And then there's like chapters that you figure out to like fill the whole story in. Cool stuff. Greg, PlayStation 4 Remote Play.
That's right, Tim. So, as everybody knows, I am looking forward to the streaming future. Stadia, xCloud, who's going to get there first? Who's going to make it
Negative
work?
latency, dude.
It's going to predict everything I do. Every time I talk about it, someone will chime up with, well, Greg, you already have that ability with remote play. To which I always say, I used remote play on my PlayStation Vita, sir, and it did not work well. Good day! And even when they launched the PlayStation remote play apps on iOS, it was, oh, wow, this is cool. Wait, I can't connect the controller. Fuck this. And so with iOS 13, right, right before iOS 13, they patched in the ability to use controllers, right? Mm-hmm. I finally sunk one up, went on the road this past weekend, and I'm like, all right, it's the test. I'm in a hotel. I want to play Concrete Genie back home. Let's do it. So I open the iPad, open remote play, sunk up my controller, which is super easy. You just hold the share. Well, hold on, I gotta hold it. Yeah, you hold the PlayStation button and the share button, and then it'll sync to whatever Bluetooth you find. You click through, do it. Got it in, started it up, and I was blown away. Concrete Genie ran so well. Streaming it to my iPad for on hotel internet.
From your home PlayStation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Real fast. How did because your PlayStation was off, or what happens if you turn your PlayStation off, or how does that work?
It's from rest mode. It can boot. It can boot.
So as long as you don't full power off.
Exactly. You can't full power off. It's got to be remote.
That's a feature now.
Yeah, that's always been a remote place thing, even with the Vita.
That's how it works.
Yeah. And so I was playing it for I'd say probably 45 minutes, just playing it in bed on the iPad. It wasn't artifacting like it used to on the Vita. And I know this is stuff based on years ago, but similar to how we talk with PlayStation now, it was an experience of, this is cool, not practical, never going to do it again, bye. So to come back to it and have it run, have it be incredibly low latency, I think maybe, I noticed, maybe I should jump just a little bit earlier. But not to any point where I was like, oh, this is unplayable, or even really noticing. It's one of those I debated kind of things. Again, hotel internet, I was like, fine. Then out of the blue, connection error, it's over, it crashed. I'm like, what the fuck? I kept trying to reconnect, it couldn't reconnect, tweeted about it, and then later in the day, Lucy, my roommate, she sent me a text, and it was her smart lights in her bedroom had informed her that, hey, there'd been an internet power outage. The internet went out today. Just so you know.
Wi-Fi router.
So it's like nobody was in the house, so I don't exactly know what happened, but it was like, oh, okay, maybe it wasn't a remote play's fault.
Yeah, your PlayStation was just unreachable.
Exactly.
Your house, probably.
But I had so much fun with it there, Tim, that I was like, you know what? Again, Imran, I'm ready for the streaming future.
Oh, yeah.
And so what I did is I went to the old Amazon.com, you might have heard of them, and I bought one of those doodads you stick on your controller so you can put your phone in it. Got one of those, right? Because I'm like, all right, test an iPad. I was really impressed with it. Will it work as well on iPhone? I connected it to the controller, put my iPhone in there, and while Jen watched Netflix on the native TV app to make sure I use all the time. You know what I mean?
WebOS.
I booted up the PlayStation through Remote Play, started playing more Concrete Genie there, and it ran, I thought, even better there. Because again, now it's like on the same Wi-Fi network. We're really close. It's not hotel internet. We have good internet at home. Exactly. And had a great time running around and playing on that. And then I tried to reconnect here at the office today, and the internet's not strong enough in our office to actually connect this. So that's where we're at.
Do you know if there's any recommended settings for this?
Of course there are. I don't know them off the top of my head. I can Google them for you if you like. But it's just a quick update of I think I did, and right or wrong, write it off. You know what I mean? And I still don't think it's perfect, right? I'm going. We go to EJLX next weekend. Come see us, and then from there, I'm doing a week in vacation with Jen in Montreal, right in her family's rural Quebec town. I'm packing my PlayStation 4. I'm not everything's solved, whatever internet they have, and when Stadia comes, it's less of an investment of me. I want to try this, and when I get xCloud on the phone, it'll be the same thing of that's less of an investment of dragging things along. But I was pleasantly surprised with everything, and I think it's a cool fix for me, especially of when I've been playing in the living room. While Jen will watch something on TV. I've really lately been breaking out the second PlayStation 4 or just the game screen and connecting it to the main PS4. But it's so much less work, right? Of boop this up and have it in if it's good enough.
This is technically not cloud gaming, right? This is your computer or your
this is
PS4.
Peer-to-peer.
Acting as a hub for your
my PlayStation 4 and my home internet beams it to wherever that beams it. Yeah. Well, I guess there's got to be a middleman, right? It beams it up to the cloud.
Yeah.
I guess, but it's not cloud. It's running from my PlayStation 4. The cloud would be up there, xCloud and Stadia are. I'm going to the super servers in the sky, and it's coming back to me.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from your home server, which is your PlayStation, which is actually, that's what Xbox was talking a lot about with Scarlet is that other option, right?
Yeah.
Where just play from home. And
you can use your Xbox as a server for other people.
Exactly.
Which is weird, and I don't know what they plan to really do with that, but
Same
sure.
concept. Let them just play from your home console.
And charge them? Whatever.
They do recommend 15 megabits per second down and up, actually. So pretty high rec.
15 up is
a
the
lot,
more difficult part.
I don't know why. It says both. I think they're being super safe, but I don't know why they would need that much.
Yeah, I think
Internet
I could do
speeds these
down.
days. Can we just give a shout? There's two shout outs I want to give, Kev Doc.
Here we go, Kev.
All right. Yesterday, I was on Amazon. I didn't need to buy anything, but I was just
browsing.
what do I want to look for? Every once in a while, I'm just going to look up hard
just
drives.
see it.
I just want to see what hard drives are at. You know what I mean?
SSD price.
I want to know that. A nice hefty external hard drive. You can get a 10 terabyte. 10 fucking terabyte. Guess how much?
$180.
200.
10 terabytes.
I know because I've been looking at them too.
$200. 10 terabytes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
God, what a time to be alive. And then internet. I hate Comcast. Fuck Comcast. But I got an email from Comcast that's just like, hey, man, guess what? We're upgrading your internet. And I'm like, that's cool. And
Get
they
ahead of the
upgraded to like
complaints.
275 down.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Careful,
okay.
because eventually they'll just take away the upgrade, or like they'll raise the price.
I am well aware of all
It's one
that.
of those things where it's
But
like,
I downloaded the well, what was it called? 4K 83, the Return of the Jedi
Right.
thing, 65 gigs. Oh baby, Kevin, that thing was done in like half hour.
insane.
Yeah,
What a world we live in.
I
I
know.
want to shout out Sonic, which is my ISP. It is the best ISP I've ever had. I have like gigabit internet. Yeah, Sonic. And like when I download off Steam, it is not the transfer rate to a hard drive is what's limiting it.
Yeah,
That's what's slowing it down. Otherwise, it goes like at a good 300, 400 megs a second.
insane,
Yeah.
beautiful.
That's exciting that it works. I think I'd be curious for you to try a faster moving game.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Division and again, I don't think for latency.
Well, that's
but
the
look
thing,
of
right?
it.
Of like, how do I, like, with us in Borderlands, right? Where, again, like, I want to chip away at that platinum. I don't want to be doing that if it's not running well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the irony is like trying to get it done in a hotel, which is where you want to use it most, is the worst place to test it. Weird.
But again,
like-
it worked. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, Concrete Genie worked. And again, like, maybe that wouldn't be for every game I would ever want to play. But, like, I was still like, oh, shit. Like, this is actually.
Yeah, I would have been surprised too.
It was well above playable. It felt great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think hotel internet is going to be the big limiting factor there.
Yeah.
Because like it worked for you then, but will it work, let's say, at E3 when everyone in the hotel
Yep,
is using the
100%.
internet at the same time?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it bodes well certainly for Stadia and hopefully the new cloud platforms from PlayStation and Xbox, because ideally you don't want to go all the way back to your own home server running into the troubleshooting. You do want it running direct from a cloud to as fast to you as possible, which would be even better and hopefully look better. I'm
That's
kinda
what
wondering,
Stadia's whole thing is.
Yeah, how this gets encoded. The video that gets to you, I guess.
I'll try again.
Your PlayStation, I guess, probably is just encoding it because it's not being used. Well, I don't know. In other words, I wonder if it goes through a PlayStation cloud to encode the video signal. If you know,
I mean,
send it into
yeah.
kindoffunny.com/Gamescast. You're wrong. I said it
You're
incorrectly before, so you can put that. You can strike that. Out. I said / you're wrong, which is for Games Daily. Gamescast, you're wrong. Give us the details.
So what happens when the internet does get disconnected? Like what happens on the PS4?
Now,
yeah,
that,
what does it do? Is it just blow up?
I'm dated on this, and I can't prove it or not because I jokingly tweeted at Lucy, hey, if you get home tonight, my PlayStation's on, turn it off. She didn't tell me if it was or not. The way I understood it, because that was a question I asked when PlayStation 4 came out, and they were like, you can use your Vita. From what I understand is if you get disconnected, it should be smart enough to turn itself off. But I'm not sure if that's an overall
standby.
default thing
Yeah,
or if
exactly.
it's just a power save function, which I have turned off.
It's probably the general power save. I'd be surprised if it puts it back to sleep after a disconnect. But you never know.
Yeah.
In other words, like mine just will go to sleep eventually if I leave it on.
Yeah.
Probably, as long as you got that on, you'll be fine.
Imran,
It's very cool.
I'm really interested to hear about Yooka-Laylee,
Yeah, the
And-
Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair.
the Impossible Lair.
So
It's a full sequel?
yeah, it's sort
A
of.
different style game,
Yeah.
but it's a full sequel.
It's the third one now?
This
No,
is
it's the second one.
Yeah.
Oh, it
the
is the
first
second
the first one was like a Banjo-Kazooie
Yeah, I know what ukulele
copy.
is. Mhm.
The second one though is a 2D side scroller.
It's a Donkey Kong Country
platformer.
copy.
Yeah.
So like they are kind of going back to different rare roots of saying like, hey, we made Donkey Kong Country. Why don't we try, making that kind of game again? And the problem with Yooka-Laylee was that it tried to make a Banjo-Kazooie without really modernizing it. I think we talked before about you and I about Mario Odyssey is a more modern example of that kind of game. Yooka-Laylee didn't do that. It tried to be that N64 game with better graphics. This is more accurately taking from Tropical Freeze.
Which is a fantastic
Yes.
inspiration.
It is
Retro
Tropical
Studios.
Freeze is one of the best, if not the best, 2D platformer out there. Period.
Absolutely.
So, when you open this or first play this game, you're like, okay, this is not subtle at all. And I played this at PAX and I talked to the developers at it. I was like, yeah, this is a lot like Tropical Freeze, and I don't know if they were joking or they're just trying to avoid the comparison. They're like, yeah, none of us have played that.
Probably
I'm
the
like,
latter.
you motherfuckers, you're lying. You're lying to your team.
You lying, boy.
One of you worked
They
on
must
Tropical
have been
Freeze. You can't tell me that, but they're trying to not invite compare. They're not trying to have that same thing of you're expecting this exact game, which is good because it's not the exact game. It's a lot more inspired by it.
Interesting. How is it different?
So the central conceit of this game is that there's an impossible lair, which is the first level in the game. It is a very long 2D platformer gauntlet that has no checkpoints. It has bosses. It is basically a Dan Reichert Mario Maker level.
Boo.
That you can, to get through this level, you can do it at the start of the game. Speaking of Breath of the Wild, you can just go right there and do it, but you only get 2 hits. If you get hit in that twice in that time, you're out of the level. You have to start over again. As you go through the game on the world map, you start collecting these bees. And each bee you get at the end of a stage will add another hit to you for the Impossible Lair. So as you, like, there's a very large top-down world map that you're wandering around and you see these open books and you go in them for levels. The world map itself has, like, puzzles and things like that, like, oh, well, this wall is closing off this area, so I need to grab a bomb from here and quickly get it there. It's, let's say, a very light Zelda-like kind of feel to it. What you can do at, like, I want to say about the 33% of the game, you find out that if you affect those chapters, the books on the world map, with certain things you can do in the world map, then it changes the level. So let's say there's a level early on called, like, the factory level, which is based around buzzsaws and flowers and all that. It's very Donkey Kong Country. Mm-hmm. So you do that level, you come back an hour later, and you set up a thing that you can start water flowing to that level. Once you go set up the water flowing onto it, it becomes a water level that is straight up Donkey Kong Country, aquatic ambience, style music, all that stuff.
Did David Wise do the music?
David
for
Wise
this?
and Grant Kirkhope are both are composers for it.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were tag teaming again, basically.
Damn.
So you get some of their best hits from it, and honestly, it's one of the best soundtracks of the year.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But so there's stuff like that. You can throw ice at this one. This one is you turn on a machine that lets in a bunch of enemies that are constantly spawning in it. And it seems like an interesting way to, like, reuse the level, but the levels are almost entirely new once you change it. So they're reusing some assets, but the design is different. And it feels and plays differently. So, like, I guess the main criticism I have of it is that if you're going in there expecting Tropical Freeze, that's why I'm saying it's not exactly like Tropical Freeze, it'll be disappointing because it's not as polished. And not as polished as a Nintendo game is a pretty weak criticism.
Yeah.
Like, it's obviously not going to... Nintendo does that, like, perfectly. Mm-hmm. So you try and get, like... It gets a little repetitive as you start seeing some of the same concepts and areas, and, like, all these inside areas look a lot of the same. But it's obviously an indie budget game, so you understand that a bit better than, like, the $60 or $50 on Wii U.
Yeah, is it full price? Or?
It's $30 or $40, I think.
I'll double check. But
it's a very interesting idea. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be. The first level, it's a carousel. Like, you're just going through and you're collecting all the coins. You're getting everything you need to collect. By the second level, I was losing Laylee, who's the bat. Like, whenever you get hit, she freaks out and flutters away. So what you can do is there are equipable potions. Or tonics, because it's Platonic. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, well. So you can spend, like, the leaves or
$30.
Yeah. You can spend. So I'll get to that in a second. You can spend the feathers to buy tonics, and what they will do is you can either make the game easier or harder on yourself by doing them. So, for example, there's a tonic that puts googly eyes on every enemy. Cool. That also makes them harder. So they take one more hit. There's a tonic that makes Laylee escape less frantically, so she'll be easier to catch, and then you won't have to lose the hit. Or things like that.
Okay, so her escaping, you have to get it, so it's kind of like Yoshi's Island?
Yeah,
with Baby Mario popping off.
So if you use a tonic that makes the game easier, you get less feathers. Or quills, I think there are. If you make the game harder, then you get more. So you're kind of gambling through, and, like, you never game over, there are no lives, so as long as you have a checkpoint, you're good.
So with the tonics, can you play a couple levels on hard and then take the other tonic and, like, change it up on the fly?
Every time you open or go into a level, it gives you this is your set of tonics. You can change it up there. You can turn them off completely. You can do whatever. If you want to go into an earlier one and start grinding quills, you can do that too.
Very cool.
So, like, in the world map, there's one joke I like. Granted, I've never liked this, like, Rareware style humor, but there's one joke I like where the snake and our friend, NPC, whatever.
Snake friends.
He sets up a wall.
Snake friend.
And for you have to collect coins in the game or in the levels to, like, get past this wall. And he's like, oh, well, yeah, it's a modern game, so obviously I erected a paywall for you.
There we go.
There we go. Got him.
And that's how they lock off new things. And, like, it's...
Got.
I genuinely like the game.
Yeah.
I think it's a little repetitive where I'm about, I want to say halfway through at this point.
Okay.
About, like, 8-9 chapters in. But I genuinely think it's their best attempt at a new platformer revival in a long time.
That's awesome to hear. So Tropical Freeze, I freaking love it. What are your thoughts on some of the other Donkey Kong Country games?
I would say 2 is one of the best. 2 is the best one for sure. It's one of the best 2D platformers.
I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. Yeah.
64 is a terrible, terrible thing that we don't
We're
talk
not talking about
Yeah.
that. Just the country games.
I would go Tropical Freeze, 2 Returns, 3 1.
Cool. Oh, dude. Oh, three's the bottom. But where do you think you're only halfway through this, so it might not be fair to fully say it, but where do you think this would fall on that list?
I'd probably put it above Returns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I didn't like Returns that much.
Me neither.
Yeah. I think they really nailed it with Tropical Freeze. Like that is, like I said, one of the best, probably the best 2D platformer out there.
Yeah.
And like they mostly nail the emulation of this, like in terms of controls and style, visual design. Like they straight up rip off that one Tropical Freeze thing of every piece of the environment has some reason to be there. So it's not just platforms floating in the sky or whatever.
Yeah.
So like that's one of the things I loved about Tropical Freeze is so much care was put into the fact that if something is falling on you or you're landing on something, there's an environmental reason for it to be there. So they rip that off completely, but it's for the better.
Yeah. Man. Oh, you got me really
Inspired
stoked.
by
I'm
it.
definitely going to play
I
this
definitely
now.
say you should give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm going to for sure.
Yep. Yeah, it's $30 game. It looks like on Best Buy it said $40 on Switch. I don't know.
Might be
why.
for the physical edition.
Oh, that is for the physical edition.
I was looking at a PlayStation Store.
Why is it $30 for the physical edition
Because
of the other ones?
Switch carts cost money.
Got to pay that truck
we're back
driver,
to
Fran.
64 days.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that there was that price discrepancy. Nintendo can't afford to pay for the difference. Sorry.
Fran, real quick.
Yes, sir.
Destiny 2.
Yeah, we can always return to this another time if you want. I don't know how much time we have left, but when I came on the show last week, we were only a couple days into Shadowkeep. I was preparing for the raid. Played, I believe, all the story by then, though, so I kind of got a taste of that. But now I'm getting deeper into the endgame grind, but I got to do the raid. And as a reminder, when I do the raid, it's for World's First. That came out on Saturday, so I played with the Destiny Community Podcast
Did
group.
you do it?
No. If we ever get World First, it will be amazing. It's not that it's not possible, but I mean, you're playing up against people who they spend every day of the week in Destiny, they spend 100 hours on it, optimizing already. They have every last thing, and they're just incredibly good. I mean, they're esports level pro players with their thinking. But we did really well, though. We played for about 14 hours the first day. We got to the end, and under contest, what they do is they keep you about 20 levels under the power of the enemies, and that's a pretty big differential that it hurts a lot. And so it gets tougher and tougher as you go towards the end. So after the 14 hours, we could have kept going probably, I'd say, for another 8 or 9 hours, or if we got lucky, 3, and we would have been, in the top, say, 200 people or 100 people probably. But we went to bed, slept, for a reasonable amount of time, came back the next day, where they took the cap off. What that means is now, for example, when we were in the end, I was 920 hard cap on that, meaning I couldn't be any more powerful no matter if my light was higher, and it was. The bosses are like 940. So when I came in the next day, it turned out my power was like 930 something. So again, you're only 7 light levels away from the boss. So anyway, where I'm going with this is it was much easier the next day, but still a very difficult encounter. If you don't know a lot about Destiny, what makes raids so special, 6 people in a raid doing first-person shooter, combat together, but all these new RPG elements on top of working together to solve stuff. So without spoiling anything, the raid has a mechanic throughout it where you have to tether wire together, stand close enough, and get that wire to move to things and do things. And so you're in the middle of like super intense combat doing that. It was very difficult, a lot of fun staying alive. So anyway,
Strands that connect you.
strands.
Oh, it's a strand game.
There's a stranding.
There's only one strand.
There's a social strand system in Destini's raid.
How great would that be?
Kojima.
Jeff Keighley's
Somebody should
like,
tell
and the
him.
award for best strand game goes to Destiny 2. Kojima like pulls up.
Turns into a wrestling match all of a sudden. Anyway, so the raid is really cool. One of my favorites. Beautiful. These things are tough to get into, but if you really do try, and it won't take you that long. I'd say if you just hop, here's the cool part, right? I've been playing Destiny since Destiny 1 for, 2,500 hours. You don't have to do all that. You can hop straight in. You're already leveled up to 750, right? The power now that you would need to be for the raid, I'd say get up to about 920. So you're only going from 750 to 920, which I would say you can do in 20, 30 hours, depending, somewhere in there, maybe more, depending on how you're doing. But then you can go in and just go to like an LFG group, or there's places, and you can do this without having, say, 5 very close friends that you go in with. That's my preference. But it's such a cool experience. It's unforgettable experiences, these raids. I mean, I can pinpoint where I was, the day and the temperature outside sometimes for these raids. Because
at your house in front of your computer.
No, I was on PlayStation all through Destiny 1, Greg. And the launch of Destiny 2, buddy.
And then you became a traitor.
I told you, Greg, when you are ready and have the time, we want
to
get you out there and we'll play on PlayStation because I can do cross-save now.
So, Fran.
So anyway, raid, totally cool.
If people want to hear much more in-depth Destiny 2 talk,
we're running out of time.
Where could they look?
Well, we'll talk about it more here on the show. I'll be darn sure of that. However, head over, honestly, any night of the week, Pacific time after about 9 or 10 Pacific time, you can head over to my Twitch channel, FM3_. A lot of Destiny there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get to the post show. Thank you very much for joining us. If we got anything wrong, go to kindoffunny.com/Gamescast. You're wrong to let us know what we got wrong. Oh, Greg, I just got something cool.
I thought you were going to say,
I'm excited. I know what that is then.
Post show time, baby.
Gonna have a post show party. We don't need no fun.
Yeah, we didn't have time to talk about it.
Can you bring that chat up?
But I played a little of the new. I missed the Borderlands boss grind week because
yeah.
This week is rare spawn week.
Spawn, yeah.
So
Have you guys
find
done
specific loot.
the slaughter things yet?
Yes.
Circle of Slaughter? I haven't had time,
you pump
honestly,
it?
to do it.
I've done it. I haven't beaten it.
Thank
Me
you.
and Goldfarb did it, and we had a mayhem mode on, and we were like getting to maybe the 4th part of the first
So
wave.
I did I did the one with the monsters. Like we did that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, like you could die and come back in.
Yeah.
The one with the psychos is fucking impossible.
Yeah.
Like we're not 50, so maybe that's gonna make
That's
a difference.
a big part of it. Yeah.
But like we get in there, Mayhem 2 is like, this isn't like we cannot do this. Went down to Mayhem 1, survived a little bit longer, but not really that much longer.
Fuck it, take off mayhem, and then you're like still losing.
Yeah. That is like, I don't want to say it's needlessly cruel to not let anyone back in, but it's very difficult.
It's very, very cruel. Yeah, when Goldfarb went down the first time, and it was like, oh fuck. All right, now I see what they're doing. I see what they're up to.
Yeah.
I have to try it out. Yeah, it's funny. I've just been playing the core mode because I'm like, my vault is endlessly full. I have too much. Man, that's a huge complaint I have, by the way.
Your inventory space? Yeah.
Backpack at 40, vault at 50, and I'm like constantly struggling.
Why do you know all this crap?
Because there's not a chance to try the stuff before you throw it away. And I have stuff that I literally almost threw away. I'm like, no, let me try it. I'm like, oh my God, this gun's so cool. Yeah. And I've not got another copy of it. So like, what are you supposed to do? Anyway, let's talk about more Borderlands on the Borderlands show.
Chewbacca1313 says, I'm deaf trying to remote play to my phone tonight.
Nice.
I started a revolution, Greg.
We'll see how it is. See how it feels, yeah.
I want to give it a shot, but I don't know like what the main benefit for me is going to be.
For Stadia?
I want to go back
what's
to
your situation?
You talk about Sonic real quick. The Sonic internet.
Yes.
You gotta go fast.
So you're in Richmond District, right? And when did you get this internet?
Like 2 months ago?
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the zip code search for it?
Yeah, and it's never been available.
It's not available for me either.
You don't live in the Richmond.
Well, no, now it is though.
Yep, home.
I'm very excited about it.
Oh, you
it's
checked?
available by you?
I'm probably going to be moving soon. And this is very exciting for me.
Yeah, it's right, cheaper, super fast,
Hey, Tim,
right?
While you're checking, can you check the studio's address?
I will.
Thank you.
It is honestly the best internet I've ever had.
Yeah.
It's never gone down in like the 2 months I've had it.
What's the speed again?
Gigabit.
Up and down.
Up I'm getting 900, or sorry, down I'm getting 900, up I'm getting 300.
Wow,
Oh, that's a
awesome.
big
Yeah, see,
difference, though.
I
That's
pay
interesting.
for 30 to 40 up with Comcast, which is the best they
Which
can
is
do
the
for
best
me.
they can do,
Yeah, which is fine for me because it's stable. I need it for streaming. I don't.
It's
Yeah.
need more
crazy
than that,
how poorly built out the infrastructure is for Comcast in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet they own most of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
The truth is they're using it for a lot of other stuff too, right? Because that's what your cable comes over, and like, so they're managing like the same line, I believe, is giving you your internet
Nobody
over
knows. Nobody
yeah.
knows. The science doesn't exist.
the science. We have no way of
They
knowing how
just
the
put-
brain works.
They just put metal down and electricity, dude. You know what I mean?
Just hope for
Kevin.
the best.
Is
It's
it
saying it's
available at the
available
studio?
now?
It's available.
You should look into it, man, because your internet here sucks.
Hey,
I can't even remote play.
Yeah, Greg's finally
No,
been
there
doing
must
that.
Go to
Some-
Tashi Station.
There must be something wrong.
But
Like, you
Uncle-
should be able to remote play. Like, the connection is stable enough for that for sure.
Maybe just like there's so many conflicting Wi-Fi signals around here.
No, I don't think that there is. It looked like the last time we did a Wi-Fi, like I had this app that was really cool that like would scan and tell you what everything was at different rates.
Yeah.
But it broke, just randomly stopped working. But there wasn't that many different signals being thrown around right
Huh.
now.
Then yeah, I wouldn't know, but
Anyway, so Stadia.
See, Tim, the problem
You don't know why you
also
put-
happens that'll come with is that we have the home security with Xfinity, and
I'm bored.
you can't have that unless the internet is
Yeah.
also going.
Here's what we
You
do.
can
the
say
fuck
anything
is
you
he
want on the
bored?
post show,
Here's
but
what we
make it
do.
entertaining, okay?
We get a
It is
mean
entertaining.
we get a mean Rottweiler.
Yeah.
and he just lives on the stairs.
Oh, can we
Okay.
call him something cool?
Sure,
Like-
Chop.
Oh,
Yeah, I like that.
I just stole that
Yeah.
from GTA.
I was gonna
sorry.
say Chop, but yeah,
Chance
Chop's
Carter
better.
said it was a former Comtech, and there's a lot of shoestring and bubble gum that keeps the networks going. I mean, I believe it.
Yeah.
That's
know what
why
I mean?
Greg can't use his Vita here.
You see, Fran, they just put down metal and they hope everything works
They
right.
just put down metal.
Yeah.
You read that. So
Dur Arvel says something interesting. Just a small reminder: with an OG PS4, you can only stream up to 720, and then with the Pro, it's 1080. So like the PlayStation is then doing some video encoding.
Yeah.
wait,
it must
what
be.
is it?
The normal PS4 is only 720, and then the Pro. is
Oh,
1080.
yeah. So it must be using some processor in
Yeah.
there that's probably normally dedicated
It's
for
probably
the-
leveraging the GPU
video
because
output.
like the
Yeah.
PS4, that's the main difference.
Oh yeah, I guess since it what's interesting is it normally is rendering a frame to go to your screen. It's some alternate path that just sends it out over the network because it's not rendering it for your screen. I guess.
Nanobiologist, I did see the "you're wrong" thing you said, and like at least so I'll let you know how that changed. But so far, we're looking good. It's easy to curate.
Game Jumper. So many games are coming to Stadia. That's the interesting thing. Almost every Ubisoft game under the sun.
Not Doom Eternal. Well, I mean, it's
No,
coming,
Doom
but it's
Eternal.
got
Not at
delayed.
launch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it got
What
delayed
past
till March
games
or something.
are
right?
coming
Yeah, a
to
lot of
Stadia?
past games. Yeah, exactly.
Like Red Dead.
Let's get it up and running till we're to the point where it's day and date.
I'm wondering if Red Dead would come to it or something. The timing. Oh no, it is.
No,
Sorry,
it is.
they,
Yeah,
they
they
said
confirmed
it's-
it,
they
yeah.
didn't confirm the release date.
I think they said Stadia
in
launch,
November though.
Yeah, Stadia launch title. but-
Window, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what that looks like. I think that'll be a really good test because you're gonna hopefully see a really big jump with Red Dead for the PC
Yeah.
version. You know what I'm saying, Greg?
Like if I launch
Can't
a Stadia
wait.
version, it
Those ray
doesn't.
tracing.
Gotta see them horse
Gigabits.
balls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Stadia
dude.
version should go like
Horse
default
balls.
to everything on, like all graphical effects on.
Yeah.
If it doesn't do that, then honestly, what's the point?
Wait, if
Like
Stadia?
the Stadia version should be an ultra PC,
Well,
like
right,
the highest level PC you can get.
well, that's what I'm getting at. I don't think you'll have a way of knowing because it's not like you can change the settings. So it's like
can you not? Like, is it not just a PC version?
Pay for different options.
You
right?
can pay for that,
Yeah.
but no. But this is exactly it, Imran. You're not going to be able to go into a video setting like it's some PC version. I don't think because why would they allow you to change the game settings? They're going to want to have one verified experience and optimal thing.
When you go into like the game's menu, like there's setting options. Why wouldn't you still have? Those
Meaning it's like a
accessible?
PlayStation. Like unless you have a PlayStation 4 Pro, there's nothing to adjust, and a Stadia is one thing.
I've
I'd
always
be
been assuming
surprised.
it's just a PC version, just on
No, because
cloud
think
streaming.
of that. Then you're gonna f the
But-
frame rate up by trying to turn on something. It's totally gonna be one
Fran,
setting.
Like when you get like I don't know. I think Assassin's Creed and it has the HDR. You can go in there and calibrate it to like what you
That
want.
absolutely, those
And
are different.
Also, let me get there. It
Just seems like not.
Will you let him
relevant.
get there, please?
I don't even want to go there.
Seems
anymore.
not
Never
relevant.
mind.
You can change the gamma.
No,
I know.
what is the game we were just playing? Borderlands. Borderlands. You can go in there and choose whether you want it to look pretty or play smoother.
on a Xbox One X or PlayStation 4 Pro.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Just you don't have two versions of Stadia in the cloud. So
I mean, you
I honestly
you
have-
right. You have the basic version. and
that's
you
bit
have the
rate.
Pro.
You're paying for an encoded bit rate, not
Fran,
a.
I'm gonna be honest. It sounds like you don't know what you're talking about.
The truth is,
Laughing at
I'm
you.
totally
Fran,
grasping at straws. I know
Fran.
nothing about it. However,
It's clear to everyone. And
Logically,
frankly, your hair looks great.
if
today.
Andrea, thank you. If Andrea was here, she'd bet a pizza on this one. She'd probably disagree with me, and then I'd bet a
The
pizza.
amount of pizzas that woman's lost.
But anyway, I'm excited to see how Stadia 4K HDR looks, man. So, this
Me
would've been a
too,
good
man.
segment
I'm
on the show.
so interested in where this is all going to be 1
streaming
year from
future.
now. Like I want to see.
How about a month from
You know,
now?
let me go a year and a half from now. Like when we have the PS5, we have whatever the fuck the
Yep.
Xbox is. Like what is the ray tracing and the SSDs and all that stuff going to actually do for games? You
Oh,
know,
man. It
when
should
we're
be a-
seeing the results and actually playing them, like that's going to be hopefully, and I believe, extremely impressive.
Oh yeah, I mean ray tracing. I think like I'm already seeing it in games like Control on my PC and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and you know how it is.
But the PC though, that's the big difference. Like having it on console hooked up to our TVs.
Yeah, I mean, no, totally. It's funny because if you've just been playing on console and you don't dip in and out of say, or install an SSD in your PlayStation, or you don't dip into PC, like there's a big difference. Like I had to install Anthem, for example, and even I played Destiny strictly on an SSD because when you're flying into a planet, it's a huge difference versus like old school, like some 10 terabyte hard drive that you bought for $200. You know,
my favorite like new graphical technique is like reflections on stuff that are not necessarily supposed to have reflections. So like in Control, when you're looking at a picture on the wall, you can see the lights reflecting in the background because there's a glass picture.
Right, it's actually reflecting the world itself.
Which is like, that's so much work for a thing that does not need it.
Yeah.
But I'm super into it.
Little details, man.
No, I just can't wait. I can't wait to see what first-party titles look like when this stuff is all just there.
I mean, we're going to have like first-party titles. We're not going to look at different at first. And then as we get further in the generation, it's going to be like, okay, now we're working with a new sauce now.
Yeah.
Funny, I'm mostly excited about the pathway to the SSD and that optimization because that is something consoles can do better than PC. And to like the idea behind, you just don't think about it like when you play Red Dead or Last of Us. I mean, you do, but you hit a loading screen. It's all very normal to us. And that's why I joked about going back to N64 cartridges when you there was still a little loading, but now, like literally, think about it. You're gonna press start on Last of Us, just boom, you're dead. You're gonna be like, wait, what? Like, I think it's gonna be like a little jolting at first, but amazing. I really feel like think about loading from screen. It's gonna be hopefully completely instantaneous, and that's something that even on PC is sought after. But everything should be standardized, and hopefully Stadia will be able to deliver the same thing in the cloud. You know, we'll see.
I saw them saying again, like, oh yeah, you can download multiplayer, or you can just start whenever the game like single player's campaign is done. It's like you motherfuckers are lying again.
That one's interesting about Stadia though, is if the server's going to have the game on it pre-installed, you'll never have to download. You never have to download. You're just like, oh, I want to buy this game and play it, and you're like, wait, I can play it, and then hopefully if the SSD's fast, you just hit start and you go straight in. And
Stadia's tech is very interesting. I'm just very concerned about their business model, of like you still need to buy the games. That's always.
You're worried about ownership.
That too, yes.
I mean, you
but also
buy
the fact that like the business model should be there should be a library that's just on Stadia at all times, and paying your whatever a month, you should have access to that library.
Oh, you want a Games Pass?
I want Games Pass
as opposed to what you do today with like Yooka-Laylee, you buy it.
Yes.
You don't like that.
I think for Stadia, that's the better business model. Of like, oh, Assassin's Creed Odyssey looks cool. I'm watching this video of a Let's Player playing this. I just want to click in and go right to that part.
Yeah.
See, but for me, that whole thing seems like more of a novelty than like the way most people are going to experience and play that, and that's cool that you can do that.
Yeah.
But I think that they're going to get to a Game Pass model at some point. But I still think that these big titles, you need to buy them individually to be able to support it actually working.
I don't think it's sustainable. Yeah, like how is Ubisoft just going to be like, yeah, take everything, and Rockstar decided to take everything. Like how do you? It turns into like an ideal Netflix where everybody supposedly gets paid enough. It's just not.
I mean, it's the same thing. Like Apple's charging $5 for Apple Arcade, and that service costs way more than $5 to them.
But Apple's paying.
But also,
but
Apple
also
Arcade
Google.
doesn't give you every game that you can get on Apple.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not saying they should do that for a library, not necessarily every possible game.
Okay, yeah.
I agree with you from
agree.
a gamer perspective. Yeah, like
I hope.
Would love it just to work that way, but I want to make sure the devs get paid and so whatever. Yeah, if Google pays for it, of course.
Yeah,
I want free games. That's what I want.
By the
Give
way,
me all the free games.
How far are you in Grindstone, by the way?
Not that far. I mean, I saw you. I know you've been playing nonstop.
It's getting really hard.
Where are you?
I'm before the second boss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm still like there, but it's become a lot less breezy, and I'm not sure. And okay, so the small parts of that game are trying to annoy me.
Yeah.
Like I can't see health on the map, and that's bothering me because like I'll start on my phone and I'll play the game. It's like, oh right, I'm going into this level with one heart because I didn't realize I didn't like heal yet or whatever. And there's things like the part with like there's graveyards and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Once you get into a map, it takes I want to say like 15 seconds to actually start playing.
Okay.
Because it's this graveyard or this tombstone has to turn.
Yeah,
this
they
into,
all do the animations of what they're about to do. Yeah, I agree with that. I
know they want to show you and they want you to know before you do anything, but I just want to quickly do this.
You
and
should be able
like,
to put skip on or something.
Yeah.
For it, right? Yeah.
But I'm still loving
you
the
guys
game.
how much Mario Kart Tour I've been playing.
Oh man, why did we talk about that on the show?
I did not want to talk about it again on the show. There's a lot of shame,
whore.
dude. I'm a dirty slut, man. It's bad. It's really bad. I haven't done the Tokyo Tour stuff yet, and I think I might
try it. I keep forgetting.
delete the app, and I'm just wasting time.
I deleted it after last week.
Delete it right now, dude. Delete it right now.
I'm not gonna do that yet.
Do it on stream.
No,
You won't do it.
This is how addictions get worse.
This has been the Kind of Funny Gamescast. I love you. Thank you very much for joining us. Join us tomorrow, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames at 10 a.m. for Kinda Funny Games Daily. Me and Greg Miller.
Woo! Yeah.